the only people watching this I know are other comedians in Chicago.
For now.
So, yeah.
All you need is your first viral moment, dog. Your first viral moment.
You know, the weird thing is like the most viral video I had was just me reviewing medications I was on.
Nice. Nice. Mental shit?
Huh?
Mental shit?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, because in 2019, all my family died. 5 people.
That's why he said that in the song.
Yeah. I gave him all my.
Like from like the pandemic or something.
There was 3 COVID related. 1, my mom had ALS, and then like my cat was my first fucking pet. So that's the one I missed the most. But but yeah, it was a lot of messed up shit.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. What the?
No, fuck? It's all good. It's just me and my brother left. So,
nice.
But
not nice, but like good that you got him.
Yeah. Do you want me to put that closer?
No, you good.
That's good.
Yeah, this is perfect. I'm just damn. I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah.
Do you got a joke on that?
About my whole family? Yeah. Oh yeah. I funny thing is like the most jokes I got is on. Oh, you know what? Did I even hit record? Let me see here. Oh yeah. All right. The most jokes I got is on fucking my mom, because my brother and I, we had completely different relationship. She was a fucking monster to me, but then she was like really like pandered to him, like coddled him, and so I'm still writing that set because he'll come out to my shows and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna ruin this man. You got
to, brother.
Yeah.
Like I'm working on doing jokes about people when they come to my show, even though they there.
Yeah,
working on it. It's a flow. Like I did a Mother's Day joke, which was the first time I did a joke on my mom, because I was developing this bit because she has multiple sclerosis, like a real severe case, and so it's pretty sad. Like I was trying to take care of her at one moment, and like taking care of her while she was like bedridden is tough, right? Because you gotta like you gotta feed her, clean her, do all these things, and then you're still hitting out shows at night.
Oh,
but
here, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I got ADD. I'm gonna pull this.
Oh yeah, go for it.
It's gonna like shake the mic or whatever. Let me.
Oh yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
Here, let me put this a little closer. Just right there.
That's cool. All right. For sure.
So you were trying to figure out and what happened.
Well, man, I don't know. I'm still working on it. Like it because it was like you were saying, it's recent. It was during the pandemic. Very.
It's a touchy subject, yeah.
It's touchy, but also is emotionally heavy.
Yeah,
like I always tell comedians, like, man, give yourself some time. Like, don't make sure you process it before you processing it on the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know what happened to me. You know Jess Misitano?
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
She just moved to Austin, right?
Yeah. She deserves to move to Austin.
Shout out to you, Jess, because she was ripping shit up here. She was destroying motherfuckers on the mic, though.
She's honestly my favorite Chicago comedian. I think she made I
got similar styles.
Yeah, I gauged that on who makes me laugh out loud, and because you got all these fucking mics and you're just like, all right, like I don't really give mercy laughs. It's hard for me to do that
because you're a comedian.
Yeah,
we don't give mercy laughs.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't know who she was at the time, and that day is the day my mom died.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, you know what?
You popped out the day your mom died, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? The best thing I can fucking do is roast her to the fucking ground, you know?
Yeah.
And I go up there and I roast her to the ground, and Jess went right after me, and I think she was digging into me on the thing.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing was like, because my mom died from ALS.
Mm-hmm.
There was a dude in the crowd. You ever go to Jerks in Villa Park?
I heard of it. I heard about him though. Was it Joe's Jerk or what is it?
Yeah. Jerks at Joe's.
Jerks at Joe's. Okay. Yeah, I heard about them.
I started out there, so I used to go there a lot more. But like I said, I'm trying to do more city mics. But
we gotta get you over there to the lodge, man. I got a room over there. I'll be doing to the lodge.
Dude, I just did Ronnie's show.
Okay.
Like a few weeks. I kind of started there too because I took some of the classes.
Oh, nice. Who was teaching? Was Mike Atchison still teaching at that moment? Who was teaching those?
For me, it was Chris Higgins.
Okay. Oh shit.
I love Chris, man.
Fuck, man, that's some good ass teachers over there, dude.
Yeah.
Chris is fucking stellar.
He almost kicked me out of his class.
What the hell was you doing in Chris' class that he almost kicked you out, dude?
So this is how I looked at it, because how you said, like, me and Jess got similar vulgar topics. The way I looked at it is like, dude, bro, I grew up a poor-ass immigrant. So I'm like, if I'm paying for this class, I'm going to get my money's worth. So I kind of used the lodge as like, yo, if this is okay here, one of the most progressive mics, then then it's okay to do it. And I did I did this bit about how I use the word retard in it.
Dog, they're not going for the R-bomb.
Yeah. And I just remember he goes, yo, man, you say that one more. Oh, is that drooping down?
It was.
Yeah, here, let me see. Let me
make it tidy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, he was I was pitching this joke, and he's like, yeah, if you ever do that again, like you're out of this class. Like, that's just, we'll even refund you because we're not part of that. I'm like, I have no problem following rules. I'm not some kind of fucking like.
But you just naturally have the energy that rules confine, though. So you have to know what the rules are so that you don't break them before, because you're going to naturally break them because you're not in a line with
Dude, that's my problem with how many bridges I burn with my friends, that I don't know where the line is until I reach it, you know? And what was funny is, like, after I said it, he had a sub, which was ended up being Chelsea Hood. And she's like, I knew immediately, just by the way you look, you were the guy for to watch out. Like, that's funny as hell.
That's funny as hell.
But
Chelsea's funny too.
Yeah. She, you know, what's great is, like, I didn't. She gave a little bit of an intimidating persona in the class, but I finally saw her do a set, and I was like, man, she's funny as hell. She's good. But we'll get this. Let me introduce. This is Wild Philosophy. Let's get fucking wild. It's been a while. And we got, do you go by Kyrie or your full name?
Kyrie Da Comic is cool.
Kyrie Da Comic, man.
Yeah.
We've been trying to do this for what, like 4 months?
No, longer. Because we actually talked about it at the night at Zany's.
Yeah.
So that was in December.
Yeah.
Then we was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And my life just went to shit, and I started hitting the road more, and it was tough, but we making it work now, man.
You were roasting Christian, right?
Yep.
You guys were the best roast that night.
That was an infamous ass roast. I didn't know it was going to be as big as it ended up being.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun though, man. They've been talking to me lately about, like, trying to go back. Like, I wanted to be in a tournament, but I go out of town because I create content, like social media content.
Yeah.
And one of my clients is in Texas, so I go out there every month.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, my dates didn't line up.
Yeah. What do you do for just regular work?
That is my regular work. So I create content, social media content for companies. And so specifically TikToks. Like I go in and we analyze their brand. We check out what type of like specifically like mascots, right? So I work with like mascot content creation, scenes, TikToks, doing live events with the mascot, making it right. The different mascots go into the community, work with the kids.
Get the pronouns right.
That's the thing, right? Like, so some of the mascots don't have he or she. So it or they is actually pretty accurate for some of them. But yeah, man. So producing content is my day job. So
that's fucking awesome, man.
It is. It's cool, but what happens is you just want more. You want more and more. I'll watch, like, people like a Jordan Peele or, Quentin Brunson or, Ava DuVernay or Issa Rae, and I'm like, yo, I want to create like that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to produce. So, I'm grateful for where I'm at and the steps to get to there. Because, steps to it, right? And that's why I don't trip. Like, even if it took me another 5 years, 10 years, like, I'd be happy because I'd be doing what I want to do, how I want to do it, with who I want to do it with.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's fucking awesome. Because I would love to do. I wouldn't know how to get started with that. I wouldn't. I don't know if it's like some single mother shit. I'm like a codependent motherfucker.
No, you know what it is. Well, I do it with a team.
Yeah.
So I am a part of a team, and I am freelance.
Yeah.
So don't shy away from freelance work because for comedians, we don't always have a full-time opportunity that makes sense and is conducive for our other lifestyle.
Yeah.
So dog, just freelance, do stuff for free. You already doing this podcast, that's free, right?
Yeah.
This is your example, right? And as you start to work it out, you got that new theme song that's busting. You're showing people your professional ability to get things done. Because now, say you get a client and they're like, "Yo, I got $1,000, Phil. Can you hook my brand up?" Bet. Now you done put a jingle together. Maybe you put some commercials together because now you know how to edit.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that you can do. You just got to be able to use your language, your personability, work it out with them, and also work with what the bottom line is, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a pizza place, maybe you do the field slice where people come in and they grab a field slice. If they saw the commercial, they're like, "Yo, I came here to get a field slice," or you know what I mean? Like it's different ways to work with that and even get a percentage off of it if you make business boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
you gotta have a fucking side hustle in this. Not even a side hustle, it's a main hustle,
You are the hustle, brother.
Yeah.
Your skills is the hustle.
You know what I did so this was when I first started doing comedy. I was telling you I had all this family die off,
It was just sad, brother. I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's all bro, you know what helped me out is hypnosis. That's what cured me. I went to hypnosis.
Yeah, I believe in hypnosis.
I'm writing a bit about that because I'm like, get out, ruin that for black people. They're like, I'm not getting fucking hypnotized.
You know what's fucked up? I learned about. I was in the house of a hypnosis lady.
Yeah.
That had passed away.
Yeah.
And around the time, it was after Get Out, so I'm like fucking scared to even be there.
Yeah.
But on some spiritual shit, she her ghost came and visited me, and it was dope. So I fuck with hypnosis. Yeah.
Well, what I did is it's called EMDR, and it's scientifically backed. Most people don't want to. So I mean, I made a video about this, but the best way to explain it is it's like you fuck with horror movies.
Yeah. No, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way they explained it to me is like, how come when you watch, like I was watching Devil's Rejects or Clockwork Orange, and here's this person getting raped, and I'm just eating popcorn like it's nothing, That's what EMDR does. Is it turns your trauma into strictly memories, so there's no emotions attached, and that's basically what I need to do. Because when you go through some traumatic, if somebody rape or you get shot at or you get fucking carjacked, like your brain isn't working the right way. It's like in panic mode.
Yeah.
So that helped me out. But
that's dope as hell, dude.
I don't know how I got on this topic.
No. I mean, I think it's a relevant topic, especially I got a weird background. I got a background actually in doing cognitive behavioral therapy. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that last year before I jumped off the porch. It was doing all comedy production full time.
What did you used to do?
So cognitive behavioral therapy. So I'm certified to lead peace and healing circles.
Oh shit!
So,
did you go to school for that?
No, I went to school for communications, media, emphasis. So I did that, but I never graduated. I dropped out.
Wow.
And it's So actually, when I dropped out, I went to Second City, and I was getting into trouble like you were.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking hopping the scene, and the guy's coaching us in the scene.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, "Yo, you're interviewing them. Interview your person." I'm interviewing a person on the scene. Everybody, the class watching, and the guy's coaching. And I'm like, yeah. So this is an interview, right? Cool. I'm interviewing you to be a salad tech. Cool. Tell me about how you toss salads. I would take scenes and make it double entendre sick because they would, and they like, "Harry, you can't go blue." And I'm like, "You told me not to say dick and pussy. You didn't tell me I couldn't talk about tossing salad." Yeah. But that's why I understand you and Justice style, because I understand we come with that natural grit that isn't necessarily accepted.
Well, you know what? I want to get into that, but before I forget, the reason why I brought up EMDR is because so they put me in I wrote a whole bit about this whole experience. They put me in a suicide prevention. I was
He's on suicide watch, yeah.
And
how long was you in there?
It was 6 months.
Okay.
I couldn't fucking take it. That's why. Because it was just, dude, it's corporate drug. I was on 8 different medications in 2 years. It made me worse. Yeah, I gained 100 pounds from it because they put me on schizophrenia medication. I'm like,
that's why I never fucking took the schizo medicine, dude.
Yeah.
I never wanted that shit.
But so what happened? This is a bad way to hustle, but I don't think I'm taking advantage. I just
don't say nothing illegal that will get you in trouble, sir.
No,
because of the statutes of limitation.
No, it's just I saw an opportunity. I call it immigrant hustle. You see, you know what? I was just bitching with my friend about this. He's like, you know what? There's all these fucking rich people like Elon Musk, and then there's this poor people like us. And I'm like, you know what immigrants do? We find the fucking loophole. We don't look at it as there's two options, you know? So what I saw is after I did the suicide watch, I was going to be a speaker there. Because I'm like, and dude, the whole speaker, like,
There's
world.
money in that.
Yeah, they're fucked up. Like they have pyramids. Like they're like, I tried joining a group where you go do speeches and shit, and they're like, yeah, you got to wear a 3-piece suit. You got to have fucking Joel Osteen veneers and shit.
It pisses me off.
You know, some chiclet teeth, and I was just like, dude, I'm not. When you go to these suicide watches, they don't want to listen to, you know, fucking a guy that looks like he's on Shark Tank. They want to listen to an average Joe like me. So what I did after that, I was like, you know what? Because I was in a jiu-jitsu gym, which helped me with my mental health too. I was like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to high schools and I'm going to do anti-bullying speeches, but then I'm going to plug in this jiu-jitsu gym. Be like, yo, this will help you out. And you know what's fucking crazy? 2 people called me back. They're like, yeah, it's much more complex than that. We don't have a problem with bullying here. And I'm just like, dude, you guys.
Yeah, a lot of people are in denial.
There's a lot of politics. They're like we have our people, and that's all we need. Even in the suicide program, they didn't want me speaking there because I told them about the hypnosis stuff, and they're like, no, we want you to let them know that medication is the only option.
And see, that's the thing. Like when I was doing motivational speaking, I was doing primarily youth motivational speeches, and I was doing that in my 20s, and it was cool. You know, I went around the world doing it, and some of the things that I realized when I was able to relate to kids that was like in dark spaces and needed somebody to talk to, they was happy to see somebody that like us come and talk to them because they were like, like one kid told me, he was like, dude, I thought you was going to come here and rap or some shit. And I was like, kid, why the hell did you think that I was going to come here and rap? He was like, I don't know. You look like a conscious rapper. I don't know. But it was because he had never seen someone come and deliver a motivational speech or a positive message dressed, you know, like how we dress down. So
that he could relate to.
Yeah, and it was huge, dog. I still got some of the letters from kids telling me like, yo, you saved my life. Like, man, I never knew that I could be that type of adult, you know, like you. I didn't know that y'all exist. And I was like, well, shit, now that they see me, now they know what they can be, right? And so it's dope that you was in that space, man.
Yeah. I went to school for psychology. I just ran out of money. Like, I got a bachelor's, and I was like, I didn't know you got to go 2 more years and pay the same amount that you did for 4 years, you know?
Yeah. The thing is, man, the cool thing is, like, every direction is a purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that you'll be able to still reach a lot of people and help people heal themselves with your story, with your platforms, with your talent, you know?
Yeah.
Real shit.
Yeah, man.
It's purposeful, man. Like, I don't always know, like, for example, the Hawaii.
Yeah.
I was out there I was doing a motivational speech tour with Facebook. They have a organization that they power with Yale called Inspire Ed, and it's all about social emotional learning in schools.
How do you get hooked up with that?
You see me, bro. You see me, and when I be in spaces, I'm talking, I'm networking, I'm chopping it up. I met them. I was doing a youth conference. In like California. And it was a little bit of like the situation you mentioned where like I'm Kyrie, kids love me, people in the hood love me. I can do any church, synagogue, temple, but I don't have that refinement. Like I don't want to put on a 3-piece suit. I don't want to lie to people. Like when I was telling kids to work on their mental health, I talked about how improv helped me. I talked about how meditation helped me. You know what I mean? I talked about how some of those things were very important. Yes, I was medicated, but that ain't what helped me. You know what I mean? Lorazepam didn't fucking help me. Fuck you, Lorazepam. It almost fucking took me under. But
what was it?
Lorazepam. It's the shit they give you for manic depression.
Okay.
And so it was in.
I think they almost wanted to put me on it.
Yeah. It's a common one because it's the precursor for like schizo medicine and shit like that. Because I was leaning towards that way, like bipolar disorder medicine, schizo medicine. But I was just like, all you telling me is more medicine. Like, like fuck, bro. Like, and this shit is already like you know how that shit it hit your body, bro. You don't have no feelings. Yeah. Imagine trying to do comedy with no feelings.
It's what it seems like to
feel. Fucking sociopath.
It's what my material seems like. But I went through that whole buffet of Seroquel. Then they tried lithium. Then they tried the schizo shit was the olanzapine, Zyprexa. That's the video that was the most viral.
Yeah, because you talk about that shit.
Yeah, because like I was like, this is so fucking weird. Like, like when I took it, I'm like, dude, I literally gained like 100 pounds in like 6 months.
That's fucking.
And the only reason why I found out was because I couldn't reach to wipe my ass. I had to put my fucking foot on the toilet.
Nice.
And I was like, and then I go online because all these doctors are telling you, oh, this is the solution. You go online, there's so many people who they're having the same experience as me, but there's nobody telling them the right thing, But
because the doctors get paid to do it. You know what I mean? The doctors get paid to push certain medicines. Like I was just looking at one doctor on Twitter talk about how she turned down $1.5 million in COVID money because they was trying to give her like 1.5 million to make sure like 600 people was vaccinated. But she like, I think it's actually hurting them. Like she was saying like the when they was pumping people's lungs up and people still dying because they didn't know yet. She was like, yeah, you can't do certain shit. But yeah, she turned down like 1.5 million, but that's through that thing where they pump certain shit into doctors, right? Like, hey, yo, push this.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, some people need that therapy. Some people need like fucking nature. Some people need. So the way you use hypnosis, I like to use even like psilocybin. It's been proven that like mushrooms and things can help people when they're trying to recover from some traumatic experiences. And that's why I tell people like, yo, not dance around, but like figure out what's for you. You know what I mean? For some people, they like, yo, yoga and Pilates and fresh air and shit. Not everybody got that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people like me, I need Acadia shrooms and I need some space. I need some zen and some coloring books. You know what I mean? Some drawing pads. I just need to fucking not, so.
Yeah. I was too scared to do the heroic dose, so I was just microdosing.
What is that, a KD? 3.5, or what is that? What is the heroic dose?
It's like an eighth.
Yeah. No, it's true. It works, brother.
But I was so I was just microdosing, which is you take a 16th of your weight or something. I forgot the calculation, and then you mix it. You magic bullet it with orange juice because then your body has more. And one time I took too much, and I was on my way to the gym.
Dog, you was really functioning. Nice.
And I'm at LA Fitness, and I'm on the fucking elliptical, and you know how Planet Fitness has that lunk alarm, where you can't like people are doing that shit at LA Fitness, the meatheads over there.
I didn't know you could do that in it.
Yeah, they kick you out if you make any noises because they're saying it's intimidating everybody. So I'm at LA Fitness, I'm on this elliptical.
That's the dumbest shit I've heard in my life.
Yeah, but I'm at LA Fitness and I'm looking forward and I'm like, man, that fucking guy sounds like Cookie Monster. And then I look down and I'm like, why the fuck? You ever see those rave boots that like white chicks wear to like to raves?
No.
They're like furry.
Oh,
and they're like neon colors.
Yeah.
I'm like, why the fuck is that guy wearing blue furry shoes on the treadmill? And I'm like, holy shit, I'm tripping in the middle of my workout. So that was fucking ridiculous. And then the thing that you know what it's stamped in my mind that I couldn't forget. Like a squat rack.
Mm-hmm.
You know how on one side they have the pull-up bar, but you can do the pull-ups like you can do them like this, or you can do them on the sideways, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a 90-year-old Japanese dude. It looked like the guy that makes that Uma Thurman goes to in Kill Bill.
Looks like the dude from Squid Games.
No, like the dude in fucking Kill Bill, like where she goes to train
with the long beard.
Yeah, with the long. He had a long ass.
Didn't he make
fucking,
the sword for her too?
Yeah. And I see this 90-year-old Japanese dude. He goes on the pull-up bar, then does a headstand, and he's headstanding on top of it. And I saw that shit. I'm like, dude, I know I'm fucking tripping, and it's fucking with me. But then I went there again sober, and he's just there regularly.
But it fucked you up to see it because you was like, yo, there's no way this old man is in here, like,
yeah,
in his prime, just killing it like this.
Yeah, but you were saying earlier about how like speaking. Like people hearing you because you relate, and then how you said like me and Jess have a similar vulgar humor. What drives me nuts is like, I've never been called an edgelord, and I think it's because I deserve it. It's because there's like privileged rich kids who get into comedy just to be fucking assholes. In my case, I just been through such weird circumstances that I'm broken. That's the shit that makes me laugh.
So you know what's wild, and I'm happy you mentioned it. So I was talking about Second City, and one of my teachers, I forget his name, but he told me, Kyrie, that's the thing. You get up there on stage, and if you ever try to be this persona, you'll lose.
Yeah,
people pay to come and see the
who
broken
the fuck you
parts. and specifically the broken parts. They didn't come to see this pristine shit you put on, man.
Yeah.
People came because they got pain and they got traumas. You can relate, and they want to see your fucked up take. They actually want to see how fucked up you are from the things that you went through. Because one, they too are fucked up, or two, they don't have the balls to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like that broken shit is the shit that's money, bro. That's the goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he told me, he's like, who was to tell you that just because you broken, you know, you can't be great? Who told you that a broken crayon can't draw a pretty picture?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's important for us as people who didn't have certain privileges to see those people like, now they want to fucking talk about a lifestyle that they can't relate to. They want to have they fake pains and like, oh, fuck my macchiato. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. But it's an advantage for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I love too, is like what I you know, although like when you start out as an open micer, you're like, man, are people gonna steal my jokes? And it's like, no, because I'm telling my real life. Who's gonna steal your personal experience?
You'll be surprised. Bring your ass on to that city, boy. You'll come in there with your style, and somebody with a bald head be like, "So man, I with a mullet." You be like, "Motherfucker!" You be like, "You stole my shit!" Like and I.
I already had 3 people try and steal my bits. I confronted them about it and they stopped. But
look, I'm gonna tell you like I tell all my other homies, man. You can't. It's a part of the game. It's a fucked up part of the game, bro.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm realizing is like when we be in here, yes, it's cool to develop bits. It's even better to develop, you know, jokes that you'll be able to take with you forever that no one else steals.
Yeah.
Not the most ideal situation. People are going to steal your shit. So what you're really working on is your timing. You're working on your writing ability. You're working on your stage presence. You're working on your networking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're working on building your brand. Because at the end of the day, you can't stop nobody from stealing your jokes, bro. They're going to steal more.
Yeah.
And it'll be somebody better than you. Or at least with a bigger platform and a bigger name.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But that's what's good. That's what I think is good. A lot of the jaded older comics, they kind of hate on the whole Instagram, TikTok, you know, this is the new chapter comedy. Yeah. That's good for not being stolen from, though, you know. But yeah, I don't know.
That's some shit that makes me really just think, like, because when I was doing that tour with Inspire and they fucking took me out there to Hawaii, man, it made me realize just how spiritual the shit is we do.
Dude, Hawaii is a whole new world. It really is a foreign country. It really is.
Well, I mean, you know, America fucking gangstered them and shit. Forced them to be a part of our shit.
Yeah. I had an episode where I was talking with I had Tom Feeback and Luke Everett. They both moved to Texas now too.
Yeah, everybody's
going. Yeah,
everybody's fucking going down there, dude. I did kill Tony before. I did kill Tony.
Oh, you did it? How'd you do?
It's fucking fun, bro. Like I killed my minute. And it's just, we stretched to like a fucking 15-minute talk. Cause at that point I was still doing motivational speeches and fucking Tony had me up there giving impromptu speeches to just random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun. And I could see why people would want to be around that type of fun. But one of the things I've been telling people in Chicagoland is like, we can do that.
Yeah.
Like, Tony has an amazing situation. He's with the Mothership, then he got the JRE, and then, you know, Tom Segura's doing his pod down there. Like, it makes the scene bubble in a different way, and I don't know why we can't do that here.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's because everybody's got this clique of, like, 10 people that they're ride or die for and fuck everybody else. But you know what? You could just unite the cliques. You know what I mean?
That makes for a stronger circuit. It makes for a better scene. You know what I mean? Like, Chicago is amazing, but like we could be number one if like you said, all those cliques came together.
Yeah.
If people start booking outside of that, their fucking regular 5 people that they book. Yeah. You know what I mean? If clubs took a chance on people who take a chance on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I one of the things I like about Lincoln Live, shout out to y'all, is like, you know, I invest with them and they invest in me. You know what I mean? I get shows there that, you know, I do my podcast there.
What's the name of your show?
Ask a Comedian. So shout out to Ask a Comedian. Come through. The next date is June 24th. Come through. It's funny as hell. So with that one, the way I produce it is we have QR codes around the room, and so as people do their set, people are able to submit questions via the QR code.
Yeah.
And after a 10-minute set, 10, 12, I go up and we actually ask the comedian those questions live. So it could be about their set, it could be about them as a person.
Yeah,
And so, we bring in some pretty cool comedians, visiting or not, local or not. And they kill, and the crowd get an opportunity to interact with them. It's fun as fuck.
Yeah.
The questions are coming in live as I'm up there with them. And it's a pretty dope situation where people can ask, like, deep shit, right? Like, how do you overcome writer's block, or like, do your pussy squirt? Like, it's just wild questions. You never know what you're gonna get depending on your set, right?
Yeah.
'Cause if you got a freaky set, they're gonna ask you freaky questions, depending on what type of jokes you do. You know, so it's a pretty cool situation where the crowd is able to get connected more with comedians. You know what I mean? We gotta get you through that, bro.
Oh, I'd fucking love, dude. I'm trying to. I email the same like 20 fucking things and once in a while I'll be lucky. It's like I just did a show. Shout out to Jim Balderston and Owen.
Jim, yes, the comedy you deserve.
Yeah, he does that. But he just I did his first show. He did what the fuck was it? The Writing Lab at Red Room. I was on the first show.
Nice.
And
I just did Red Room. That's a dope club.
And everybody did well, but it was like, what you're talking about, Ask a Comedian. It's like the advanced course. What we did was kind of like the easy course, which is only because, like you're saying, you're asking them on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Jim's doing this thing where they throw these topics in a hat, and you have 20 minutes. They set the timer. You got to write about it. They were laughing, and I was laughing because I think I got the hardest one. Somebody just put soda. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck to make soda funny,
Man.
But I did go off on. I did well. I just went off on how we're the fucking ADHD generation from all that soda,
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. Now you're talking about the fucking red dyes and the fucking high fructose corn syrup and shit. That's decent, Joe. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said it's less about the jokes and more about your ability to write, because now that's a new experience for you now, right?
Yeah.
And in the future, maybe you go to a show and somebody got a random ass can of pop. Now you can go straight into that bit, like, oh man,
Yeah.
boom, 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 however you want to do it, or, So that's big, man. For me at least, I find that like it's cool to do different types of shows and different venues and shit, but it's never really about doing a lot because like I told you when we was in the car ride over here, as a comedian, there's gonna be periods where you're not getting booked that much, and it's like, what are you producing? Podcast material. Shout out to this pod.
Yeah.
What shows do you produce? Shout out to Ask a Comedian. So it's like you gotta leverage that. You know what I mean? And relationships. Yeah. That's the thing. It's funny. Shout out to Dan. I was just with bro last night at Soho, and he was telling me how.
Dan who?
Fuck. What is Dan's last name? Oh, let me look it up because I'm so bad with last names. I'm like, yeah, Dan. And everybody like, yo, who the fuck is that? And I'm like, yo. What the fuck is Dan's last name? What is his last name? You said I just go. Oh, Dan Drees. Funny fucking comedian. Yeah, Drees. He's funny as fuck.
What mics do you go to during the week?
Oh man, it depends on what type of crowd I'm looking for. So if I got a joke that's more racy, because I know how I shit can naturally be, I'll pull up to like shout out to my dog Ed Towns and Q Rodescu. They got Trigger Warning on the north side. Prime space, because I like to go to, I'm almost opposite. You know how some people are like, don't go where there's a lot of comedians. Certain jokes, I go where there's a lot of comedians to know if there's something there. Yeah. Because comedians, let you know, like, well, at least I created this relationship with people. We're at the point now, and this is what me and Dan was talking about last night, where relationships are going to matter, right? So if I pull up to a spot, I know the rules of like how I can get on, right? Like, do I need to get there early to sign? Do I need to send in a message to somebody? Make sure that that's secure. But also, I want to secure like what type of joke I'm doing, right? Because like if it's super racy or if it's super political, I only want to go to a certain place to try it out, because I know that the audience is going to be a little bit more lenient for that, right? Like I can go to Trigger Warning and talk about like global events or some shit, right? Because those people in there are like comedians that are always hip to the news. If it's something that's like super black, then I know I need to pull up to like Bar 10 to work it out with a crowd that's mostly black and like rowdy, and they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if it, so if it's something that's more progressive, then I know I can try to get that over at the lodge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it depends on about where, and I like to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Because as a comedian, you don't know what type of crowd you're gonna get all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you need to be able to have a progressive joke, a conservative joke.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that's why I like those exercises.
I love that fucking, like you said, the art, you know, where you're like, this is for a black crowd. This is for rich ass fucking white crowd or whatever, you know, or because I've done shows at Maggiano's. So
this is an Italian restaurant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But see, that's a dope thing, and like,
because it teaches you how to write all these things, or like even like what's funny is shout out to Laura Hug.
Laura funny as hell.
Yeah, like she runs like a recovery show. It's like it's either about 12 steps or it's about like trauma or mental, you know.
I need to pull up and do that. I like that.
And I asked her like, "Yo, could I be on this thing?" And I know some people who don't know me well, they might think like, "Oh man, this guy's unhinged. This guy's vulgar." I'm like, I have fucking novel worth of mental health stuff that I'm able to follow the rules. You know, I'll be on a leash for you. You know, like, but yeah, I love having all that stuff. It's fucking great. You know. Recently, I started going on Wednesdays to Wisconsin to Comedy on Stage. So,
holy shit.
Yeah, and dude, I think I found my crowd because I fucking like kind of like how you're describing trigger warning. Just picture that where you could say whatever the fuck you want, but there's a general audience and comedians.
And that's what make it better when you can get that big audience and then you can kind of work through some of your jokes. And you'll get to the point, dog, where like you actually some jokes you're working on are so important to you, not on some like you worried about people stealing it, because you're still building it.
Yeah,
and you don't want someone to steal it and get it out there and it's unrefined. You're still dealing your shit. You're gonna start sneaking them into your shows.
Yeah.
So like maybe you only booked 3 times out the week, right? And like yeah, you could hit open mics.
Oh, I wish, dude.
Yeah, no, but like it's gonna come, bro. It's gonna come
Yeah,
because it's people I know and they getting booked like 3 times in a night. It's like,
yeah.
But what are you doing with those bookings, right? Are you taking those jokes that were originally written for a community and finding ways to bring them into others? And that's something. Shout out to Maya out of New York, OG. She used to be a writer for like In Living Color, and she told me, she was like, "Kyrie, you getting better." But Mayat, like Maat, the Egyptian term Mayat, but that's her name. I respect people when they change their name. But
I was thinking of Miss Maya. I don't know if you know Miss. No.
But the cool thing that she told me is like the best comedians go in and make the crowd like the joke, even if it ain't. So like, man, it's possible. You just got to be able to be really, really good. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. There's a certain level of like notoriety that's needed for a certain name to be able to be used in a group, but there are certain names that are across the board, right? Like R. Kelly is known across the board, or a Tom Brady is known across the board. Now, it might hit certain hard in certain communities, talking about like Dr. Fauci or some shit, but there's certain things that people in all of those rooms know about them, and it's your job as a comedian to draw those strings to connect them to this funny that they didn't even know. So sometimes as a comedian, we have to teach, we got to educate on what the fuck's going on, and then hit them with why it's funny.
Yeah, man, I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's I've done a few showcases where like I asked them, I'm like, can I do race material here? And they get like a little bit uneasy, you know.
That's funny as fuck.
And they're like, what do you mean about race stuff? Because they judge by appearance, you know. But,
they said, what do you mean?
And then I do it, and it's funny because the way I relate to them is I'm kind of making fun of myself because of the racist upbringing that I was in. You know what I mean? Because I grew up in like the north side of Chicago. It was all Italians, Irish, Polish people were like the minorities in that group. We gentrified.
I went to school with a lot of Polish people. I went to Prosser Career Academy, so like on the northwest side, not too far from like Belmont, Craig, and stuff. So like we had
I went to Holy Cross before it got bulldozed.
Oh wait, wasn't it an all boys school? Or
yeah.
Okay. Damn, it got bulldozed.
Yeah. It's like all apartments now.
Oh yeah, that's the north side.
It was Holy Cross, and then it was a Garin prep, like co-ed.
So who was y'all ops? St. Patrick's all boys school.
Well, like rival?
Yeah, was that y'all rival?
It was St. Pat's, Fenwick.
I remember Fenwick. Yeah, okay.
I don't know who the fuck else.
Yeah, y'all was
Notre Dame.
Yeah. No, that was the all girls one, right?
No, that was all guys.
Oh, was it? Okay. I know it was a couple. Yeah, dude. That's that the Bulldogs, and that's tough, man.
But I was just like, when people, a lot of people say that, like, saying like, oh, he was a victim of their own environment. My environment was racist fucking white dudes. So I kind of make fun of like the people that I grew up with, and that's when I realized, I was like, oh man, can I do some race material? They're like, you did fucking great, because you're kind of making fun of yourself because of what you grew up with. Like I have a bit that I do, like, dude, Polish people are so fucking anti-Semitic. And I did a joke about how, like, my grandma used to be like, we'd be watching TV. She's like, you see those people? You can't trust them. They have huge nose. They complain all the time, and they're very cheap. And I'm just like, oh, you mean Polish people? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, so Polish people are they're unsuccessful Jews. So we're just jealous, like. So like that's the joke. Like,
that's decent, man. That's funny.
But yeah, man, I grew up with a lot of characters. I remember. So this is like a funny story. This is like an embarrassing, vulnerable story that people want to hear. It's funny as fuck. So I'm growing up in the 90s. I didn't learn English till I was like 12. And
damn.
I actually just heard this recently on a podcast. It's kind of interesting. Like, when you hit puberty, it's a different chapter in your life mentally because all the hormones. Yeah. So like, if you learn English before puberty, you won't have an accent anymore. Because I used to have an accent.
Wow.
But if you learn it before 12, you don't have the accent anymore.
It's the power of busting a nut.
But yeah, fucking that power of going to a Catholic school, getting nuts busted on you. But
I mean, hey, you go to TD Jake's church, somebody got to bust a nut on you to get to heaven, man.
Yeah. but what was I saying? Oh, so like, it was hard for me because, like, while I'm trying to learn this language, I'm trying to be cool with the kids in my neighborhood who already speak English. Mm-hmm. I'm working on just, what the fuck are you saying to me? They're already working on what's cool and whatnot. So here's what's funny is I hung out with this family friend, and I'm like, so what's going to make me cool? What should I get into, She gave me a fucking New Kids on the Block tape to saying, oh, this is the coolest fucking thing in the world.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So one day we had what the fuck is it called? Like, I played football. When they have that, what's that day where, like, all the fucking cheerleaders, they give you they like decorate,
homecoming?
I think it's homecoming, where they decorate your house. And you just dress regular and you do like a parade or whatever, right?
Yeah, homecoming.
Yeah. So we had homecoming. I showed up with my jeans like all torn up because I want to look like Marky Mark.
Oh, man.
My coach is like, the fuck, you get attacked by a bear or something? What the fuck is that shit? And then like, I remember him whispering, he's like, he's a Polak. Don't worry about it.
Damn, racist.
So that shit was funny as fuck, though.
I was doing HVAC with some Polish guys. Back in the day, heat and vent and air conditioning. Yeah. And I enjoyed cursing. Yeah. Polish curse words really, really, like, they did something like, what is it, kurwa mash? Like, it was just certain things. I was just like, it feels good to,
So in the back of your throat, kurwa mash.
Yeah, kurwa mash. It's like,
Yeah. Sounds like Adolf.
I also don't know what that means. I was just cursing.
Oh, it just means fuck you.
Nice. Yeah. That's why they was always saying it. Yeah. I was just sitting there like, yeah, that's how you say it, and just kept saying it and forgot what it meant.
You know what's the most Polak thing I ever heard? So I worked at this factory. It was 80% Polish, and everybody, they segregated. Lunchtime came, everybody segregated. Puerto Ricans chilling with Puerto Ricans, Americans with So these Polish guys, they're chilling, and literally, I just walk up to them. They I can't tell you how many times Polish people thought I was gay because of how not miserable I am.
That's hilarious because your ass was happy. They like, what's wrong with
yeah. What are you so happy about? That communism not fuck you in the ass enough? Like, because Polish people always look like they're posing for UFC. Like they need some Metamucil. They're backed up.
Yo.
So I'm just walking by these guys, and all they're spending their whole lunch just shitting on Jewish people. And I'm like, I gotta troll these motherfuckers.
And this is their lunch break?
Yeah, on their lunch break.
Damn.
And I just walk up. I'm like, I gotta troll these motherfuckers because I'm a natural troll. And I go, well, I just took a 23andMe test, and I don't know if you know this, but I just made this up. I'm like, if you're from Eastern Europe, there's a 50% chance you're actually Jewish. And this was the most Polish response. He goes, well, you know what? Maybe you should do less reading. I'm like, yeah, dude.
God damn. Okay. Okay.
I'm like, okay, bro.
Damn.
But yeah, that shit was.
That's funny.
I always start this off too. Like I always because we just started rolling the chemistries here, But I always start the podcast off with like, is there anything in the past 2 weeks that's happened to you that's like fucking crazy, that's wild?
I think
on this wild philosophy,
man.
Do you want to share?
Yeah. So it's a couple of things. I think. Well, shout out to Beyond Bars podcast. Shout out to them. I love them. It's a podcast.
Whose podcast?
My podcast, Beyond Bars Pod.
Beyond Bars?
Yeah, like we just started filming season 2.
Is it YouTube, Spotify?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Beyond Bars podcast, me, Catherine Gongaware, and then we're adding for season 2 our triplet, Felonious Monk is our new host. And we just started recording.
Felonious Monk.
Yeah, is our regular.
As in the jazz guy.
No. The comedian Felonious.
Okay, Felonious.
Yeah.
I'm like,
not Thelonious.
Yeah.
Felonious Monk. But it's been dope, man, because
summoning some ghosts.
It's hilarious. No, I really enjoy working with those two, Catherine and Monk, because they revitalize me. Like sometimes in comedy, man, you get tired, you get lethargic, you get lazy, and like they do a really good job of just keeping me feeling good and keeping me feeling excited. You know what I mean? And so if you're watching this, definitely lock in. It's a wild thing, man, because we talk about interview people who have been impacted by the judicial system in different ways, right? Okay. No matter if the justice system impacted you early, you was in juvie, or if you were incarcerated for 6 months or 20 years. Hell, if you were put into institution for mental health reasons, then that still counts, right? Because guess what? You got to get discharged. Guess what? You can't leave when you want to leave. You know what I mean? You don't control what you eat. So it's very much so a very similar thing, and we want to impact the community by uplifting the narratives of people that are doing positive stuff, that have been through these institutions, because what they need is support, what they need is community. And so what they also need is for us to not judge, right, and show love and support for whatever it is that they're doing is positive. And so being able to have that platform for that is a real good feeling, man. It feel like you're doing something good in a world full of shitheads.
That's cool, man.
It is, man. Cool, man.
Here, I'm just checking. Dude, I just had so many times where I ran out of room on my phone.
Get the fuck out.
Okay. So that's
no. Yeah, that makes sense. And then more wild, like a wild take for the sake of the show. Fucking went on like a double date thing situation.
You went on a double date?
It was like a triple date. It was like two couples.
Are you gonna try and do that Lincoln Lodge thing, the date show or whatever?
Yeah. I'll give it all a try. I'm lonely. But so I go to the show, and I go to the Soho, and I'm hanging out with the people, and the girl that was there for me, it's like on ketamine, and I just didn't know that's where my life was heading. Like I know I'm not that good looking, but shit, you got to be high on ketamine. What is the ketamine hose, Phil? What is ketamine hose? I didn't know that's where I was at right now. Like I've been dating like school teachers and shit.
Did you find her online?
No. No. This was like we got a girl for you.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, damn, why is a girl for me? Okay.
There's a lot more ketamine hoes online, is from what I hear. It's a lot harder.
And how do you take ketamine?
I think they inject you with it. You go on injections like every 6 months. I looked into it.
No, they getting high on it. It ain't no every 6 months. They getting high.
Okay.
Yeah, brother. This ain't.
That's the weirdest shit I fucking said.
Yeah, no.
You going on your routine injection for the treatment. It's a PPO covered insurance.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, the dating is crazy, dude.
It is.
It is crazy.
I remember, like, so I've been with my wife for, bro, it's funny. We're both Gemini. We don't even, it's somewhere between 7 and 10 years. So we both forget, but we don't.
Impressive.
We don't fucking remember. But before that, because when I was in a band, I was a fucking man whore. I was on all the dating sites, and some of the situations I got into were so fucking crazy. I mean, it was just like, I went out with this chick who's like, she didn't even want to fuck around. She didn't want to date. She's just like, I just need somebody to support me and setting up my art gallery in my apartment. I'm like,
man, fuck you in it. Art gallery.
Why am I here? Yeah, like, there's just so many weird situations. Another weird situation. Okay, this is the funniest situation I heard from my friend. I was best friends with this. He was a blind comedian. This guy Bill. He was dating. He was. Funny thing was, he was on Tinder. So I'm like, what? How do you know where to swipe if you're fucking blind? You know, like, I'm like, how do you know if she good? You know. So he gets hooked up with.
I didn't know that blind people be on Tinder.
Yeah, dude.
But that's a good point. How do you know that she a baddie?
Yeah.
Maybe they like got the thing to read.
Oh
yeah. The bio.
Yeah.
It's like likes long walks on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a ketamine hoe for life. You know, read back. But
ketamine hoe for life.
So he went out with this chick who it was so funny because she's like, she fetishized that he was blind. It's like,
that's kind of kinky, I guess.
She's like, oh, he must, his other senses must be better because he's got to feel around, you know. So,
she's sick.
Yeah. So she and he didn't know that. So he's going on this date thinking like, oh, I got to be all romantic and kind of ease my way in, you know. And then she's right away. She's just like, so you want to have a threesome? And he's like, tonight? I guess. I kind of threw him off, you know.
Hell yeah.
And she wanted to have a threesome where she worked. She's like, I don't really have like, I live with my parents still, so I can't. Only place I can fuck is at my work. And it was this. She owned she worked for a pet shop in Pilsen.
There's no way he had a threesome in a fucking pet shop.
I'm like, dude, he must, like, imagine being blind and you're just hearing fucking crows, caw, caw, and then some cats meowing in this corner and then dogs barking in this corner, and you're trying to focus on this threesome, you know, like.
Oh my god. And how do you? So and then at that point he has to be given more direction.
Yeah,
give. Because usually you give the direction in threesomes, and okay, that's different.
Yeah. But
that smell wild in that motherfucker. Yeah, threesome dude. And pets.
That's the fucking monkey exhibit at Brookfield Zoo, you know?
Ooh, that motherfucker smell like Lizzo backshot win.
Yeah. That shit fucking, oh man. But that's the weirdest story I heard on dating.
Well, now you got me thinking, like, Kyrie, what is the weird things that you've heard? Ha ha ha! You think you know people until you find out what's their you know, people like, I have a home church, you know, a church that they go to. Yeah. People's home porn site tells you so much more about them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fucking easily, like. Because it just comes up, you know, comedians do bits on, you know, porn, what's the site you like?
Yeah.
And it'd be cool and it's chilling, you know, I was with some comedians, we were talking, and they was like, yeah, fuck that, what a real freak said. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, everything is on Pornhub, and then the badass girl was like, no. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, everything should be on Pornhub. And she's like, no. I go to motherless.com, and I said, yo. Are you familiar with that website?
No. I'm just judging it by its name.
As you should.
Is it like mother-daughter exchange club type?
Well, think about it like this. If Pornhub is a hub, and it has in this website that is not a hub, but it has things that this hub does not have.
Yeah.
And the branding of it is the motherless people. When they say you're motherless, what type of deviant shit are you into? Now, as someone who stumbled upon this, but I'm not like a subscriber or anything, I knew what this was. They do all of the good shit. Well, I mean, not gonna say good or bad, but they do all the crazy shit on there.
Yeah.
Dude. All of the acting, all of the like just wild shit. That's why I was so shocked.
What's the wildest porn you ever seen?
I have seen them all.
What do you think is at the top though? Number
I
one.
think the top number one. So I used to watch them when I was a kid, right? So like I used to watch when it was like LimeWire was big and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm getting access to like fucking everything. And at that time, you ever heard of the website littlemidgets.com?
No.
I am dropping the most
Is
the
it
worst
tall
shit.
people on the site?
It's not. So actually, littlemidgets.com. You could like, fuck. I feel like a bad shithead talking about these websites. So littlemidgets.com at the point when I was watching it in the fucking early 2000s, late 90s.
It's got to be called Little People in 2024
Because it's different, right? So I'm hoping that they got their shit together. But once you learn the type of stuff that's on there, like beheadings and shit, you realize they are actually pretty shitty people. Whoever is running this website.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
so like imagine you're fucking 10 years old, 11 years old, you're watching these beheadings, and unfortunately they had stuff like snuff porn on there.
Yeah.
And so I would think that like snuff porn was some of the more fucked up shit that I've probably seen.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Isn't that like where like R. Kelly shit?
No, snuff porn is where you kill the person after.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of smut.
No, it's smut though for sure because
Yeah.
it's like fuck, this is terrible. But
Holy fuck.
yeah. So this website that I watched as a kid had all of these wild things on there. You know, the two girls in a cup, all those things.
Yeah.
That was just like, yo, what? And so motherless.com has some things that are equally like, yo, what the fuck type of role playing scene is this?
Yeah, dude, I was just about to say that about like what creeps me out is when I see old porn and the type of role playing that they do. Because what I was about to tell you, the weirdest shit that I just thought like, man, these motherfuckers before there was internet, they just had to use their imagination and they're like, oh, let's role play this, let's role play fucking, I don't even know what, let's role play Batman and Robin, you know, let's role play. So the weirdest shit that I ever seen, it's like burnt into my mind that I can't get out of my head. I actually came across it because this weird electronic band I listen to, they're called Tobacco. They have it in their music video. It's the role play porn is they bought the actual costume that E.T. wore, and the story of the porn is E.T. lands in like 1700s times, and E.T. is actually a hot chick in the costume, and by the end there's just these dudes in fucking bicentennial uniforms with white wigs and they're fucking E.T. in the ass. But like you could tell it's a hot chick underneath there, but you got to see E.T. there. I was like, that's the weirdest shit I ever fucking. I'm like, I wonder how bad, like how much she stuck to the character. Just ouch, you know, Elliot.
No, that's gross.
It's gross.
Like, people are sick. Like I was telling you, I did the mascot shit, and like, the crazy thing is mascot suits have to get cleaned, right? They have to get repaired. There's shops for them.
Oh, the costume, yeah.
Yeah. So mascots around the world use these different shops, but one of the things that they did not occur for, like for example, different directors and stuff, they're like, yo, we're gonna clean the suit. I'll just find a place. I'll just Google it. You have to be particular about how you Google cleaning furry suits.
Oh shit!
Because you will stumble upon furry porn. And my director was doing it live. She's like, I'm sure it's not that hard to find a place. It's like a fucking dude in a big mascot suit with a hard dick. And she's like, oh my God, it's not. Like, accept all cookies. No. Now that is some sick shit.
Yeah.
The furry community is booming because they're paying thousands of dollars for suits just to get cum on it, and they have to take it to the cleaners for hundreds of dollars.
Imagine how the cleaners react, you know?
Shit, that's good business, bro.
Yeah.
They say that's job security.
Yeah. Man,
Oh, that's sick. That is some sick shit.
Yeah. You know, the okay, so to segue, the other wildest shit I stumbled upon, like, this isn't like porn shit, but it happened in the past 2 weeks.
Nice.
I don't even know how the fuck to deal with this. So I got a step kid. He's 16.
Nice.
And we just started getting along together because we're going to therapy. You know, dude, being a stepdad, dude, you're never going to fucking get as close as a regular kid, you know?
Yeah.
So, listen to this fucking dilemma. Like, I'm like, I don't even know how to respond to this. My kid, I kept blaming that he's on his computer all fucking day. That the reason why he can't connect with us, you know? You know what Roblox is?
Yeah.
Have you ever played it?
No. I thought that was for kids, though.
Yeah, it is for kids.
I thought he was too old for that. I thought Roblox was for, like, little kids.
Well, see, that's the thing is I was like, why is he playing Roblox, and what the fuck is Roblox? So, like, for me to explain this, I'm going to explain this to you so that you understand what he's doing, because I'm like, he's a bigger hustler than me. Because, so what happened is I'm like, Roblox is basically, you ever play, like, GTA Online?
Yeah.
How in the GTA world, there's all these different games, like, you could do monster truck races, or there's the insurance fraud, you know, in like Saints Row where you're bouncing off of cars and
Hell
shit.
yeah.
So Roblox is basically GTA for kids. There's all these little sandbox games you're making. So I was like, why the fuck is he still playing Roblox? And I found out in the game, every year they have creators apply, like guys who write code, and they customize the clothes,
The skins and the clothes and shit that they wear, yeah.
So they'll have, like, you know, somebody makes like a Supreme shirts, whatever's popping at the time, you know, or Balenciaga boots or some shit, you know. And what my kid started doing is whenever there was a popular fucking thing, he would just like counterfeit it. So the example he gave me, there was like some shit called Sparkle Town fedoras. It looks like metal Super Mario.
Okay.
And it's just a fedora that's chrome. So then he made something like Glitter City top hat instead of Sparkle Town, right? And something went viral, and dude, he made 20 grand. He like already made 20 grand, and
so you can design things on Roblox and sell them on Roblox?
Yeah. So what happens is every year they look for creators where you can apply, but what sucks is in order they have like these you know, like every job has like you need this certification, you need this experience,
certain shit.
So for the creators, they want you to have a viral YouTube channel, like you got to have more than 10,000 subscribers, more than average like 40,000 views a month or some shit, and he doesn't have any of that. So instead what you can do is you email these creators and you're like, yo man, my name's Kyrie, I want a character that looks just like me. You send them a picture of you, they design it, and then if it sells, they get 30%. So even though they got 30%,
he still walked away with that.
He's made 20 grand.
So that means that that's smart.
And we're fucking losing it because we're like, he's 16, so he can't get taxed. So if he gets caught, we can go to jail. You know?
Is it like that, or is it because he can't get taxed? I think it's a certain amount, or. Fuck, that is tricky. That is tricky.
It is. Because I remember, so I used to sell, I designed hoodies on Etsy.
Nice.
And once I started making more than $1,000 a month, you have to register as a business to be taxed the right way.
Right.
Which is what he'd have to do, but he's underage.
Which means that his parents have to do it. But
yeah,
that's true, but that's tricky, dude.
And then, but then the scariest aspect is he's not supposed to be counterfeiting these other creators. So I'm telling him, withdraw. And
the thing is, like, he's not supposed to, but it's the equivalent of, like, you know, selling like a fruit phone. It's not Apple, it's fruit. Like,
yeah.
I'm in another country where the trademark rules are different. And I thought it was like that online.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I know early in the not crypto world, when people were doing the things with gosh, what is this? What is it? It's like crypto, but for playing cards for sports. I forgot what it was called, but needless to say, in the whole virtual world, they have to get whole new trademarks because the trademarks that y'all got don't actually apply to, you know, the metaverse. And so some of those top brands like Balenciaga and them have started to invest in getting trademarks in those spaces, but that's not Roblox. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it. It's like it's money coming from the internet for a young human that ain't even supposed to be making money. So it's like, how can you tax somebody that's not taxable?
Yeah. I don't know. And then if it isn't illegal, then it's like, why did you let this kid do this? So
Well, no, it for sure ain't illegal. I think it's not illegal, but it's so much nuance and gray space as the internet expands.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw, like, even in the metaverse, this girl was like complaining that like she had got like assaulted in the metaverse, and people were saying, why did you not turn it off?
Yeah. That shit's ridiculous. I don't know, man.
Crazy.
Hey, do you play Oculus at all?
I think the Oculus is the devil, so no.
Yeah.
I have before. Because I don't want to knock anal before, you got to try it before you knock it. But
my kid's grandma bought him the Oculus and he didn't touch it. So, and it was like during lockdown, dude, I got obsessed, man.
Cuz it's fucking lit. You
It's
literally
fucking-
the ears and shit, you can hear this shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Dog.
Resident Evil 4, man. I played that on there because they re-released it on there.
Ooh.
So it's like you got your pistol on your right hip, you got your shotgun behind you, you got your first aid behind on this side, you got your knife strapped to your chest. I busted a knuckle because I punched my staircase and I didn't realize I was going outside the border.
Shit.
It's fun, man. But the scariest one that I've been playing recently, I haven't played it in like a month, but it's called Population 1. And literally all it is it's you know how like Fortnite you keep respawning?
Yeah.
It's like it's that setup, but it's like Call of Duty. So you're just in this town and you're on two different teams, like it's teams of 3, and you get it's Call of Duty. It's fucking Call of Duty. And I'm like, dude, how many school shooters am I playing with right now? You know? Like and it's realistic as fuck because you get like a sniper. I actually have to kneel and rest my elbow on my knee because it's picking up me breathing. So like the crosshair.
For your bullets. Wow. Yeah. Nice.
So it's
what's the name of that game?
Population 1.
Population 1.
And it's free. It's free because it's online, so it's like the ads pay for it or whatever. So I've been playing that for a while.
So when I did play Oculus, it wasn't mine. It was a young lady who I was talking to. I think I'm blocked, but I'm gonna try to like get back over there so I can play her Oculus.
Yeah.
That sounds like the plan.
Yeah, no, I'm the only person I know in my group that plays that shit.
Oculus is very niche right now.
Yeah,
it's very niche.
Like during lockdown, they were doing my wife, she was signing me up for all these like different surveys. You know, like you could test food, or they ask you like if you were in a suicide watch or something. So they had one that was an Oculus test. They paid you $500. You go downtown and you play a game that they were setting up.
What?
Dude, I was the only one there, and they were expecting like a 14-year-old. They're like, "You play Oculus, bro?" You know? And dude, the game they had, I almost threw up because the first game I played was Resident Evil, and you got to get used to the vertigo of getting your surroundings because you can't walk. You have to point and click. So it fucks you up in your head. Like you get nauseous.
That's you moving just from not moving.
Yeah. So it took me like 3 days to get used to it after Resident Evil, and then I was okay. The game they had was this game where you're repairing spaceships in outer space.
Why would I want to do that?
So you're thrusting. So the whole time you're sitting in a chair, but you're going like upside down in gravity and shit. Dude, I got sick in 10 minutes.
Why did you tell them not to make that dumbass shit?
Yeah. I gave it all 1 star. I'm like, no,
that's
don't make it.
That's a terrible fucking idea to have these little kids upside down and they ain't sick. Their fucking brain is gonna fall out their ears.
Yeah,
that's sick, man.
The other thing that was funny was I worked for Jiffy Lube a little bit. I learned more shit from the auto simulator in Oculus than I did at Jiffy Lube. On how to
the fuck is the auto simulator on Oculus?
There's it's called Mechanic Simulator. And it teaches you how to build a car from scratch.
There's no fucking way that this is on Oculus.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to get an Oculus myself. That sounds impressive.
It's awesome because they make it into a game too. It's like the premise of the game is like you got this little shitty shed of a garage.
A shitty shed is crazy. It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
A shitty shed.
Yeah. And you gotta move your way up to like a corporate fucking, like O'Reilly's auto part,
Wow.
And so you're like, and there's all these different, like, I don't know, like, they're like, oh, this car got into a wreck. So you have to only replace the parts that were broken. Then it's like, this car is a lowrider. You got to give it a new gloss, Like
Okay,
it's
that
cool
sounds
as
real
fuck.
lit. Okay, you done sold me on this Oculus thing.
Yeah, it's
Usually people are just like, man, the porn is amazing. I'm like, I'd rather get some real head.
They have that game on Xbox though too. That's where I played it first. Mechanic Simulator.
Mechanic is on Xbox. The
Yeah.
new Xbox.
Yeah.
I heard that thing is getting outsold by PS5 though. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's tough.
All those simulator games are funny as hell. They have like the power wash simulator. You ever do that?
Why are people working during their video games?
They said
You just described two games that's a career.
yeah, it's a career. Just
I don't-
buy a fucking power washer.
Or just go do the job.
But I read an article about it. They said that it eases people with OCD because they're just cleaning shit. You know?
Yeah, but you could just do that shit for full-time
Yeah.
money now. You know what I mean? Like a power washer, like, I don't want to knock them. I understand it. I've used one before, but I was getting paid at a job to do it. It wasn't at home.
Yeah.
But an Oculus, I could just be on a porn for that.
Yeah. So the only other wild shit I had to share is I'm not gonna mention who because I don't know if they want to be mentioned, but so I was telling you about that podcast, Legion of Skanks. It's my favorite podcast. One of the guys on there, Puerto Rican rattlesnake, Luis J. Gomez, right? A lot of people think he's problematic because he says he's unhinged, like me, whatever. But I guess there was a period where people hated him because they have a live show in New York.
Oh, that's dope.
And Proud Boys showed up one day. And they're like, "Oh, we don't." They just roasted him, and so people were mad that he didn't kick him out. That he just he's like, "I don't fucking care who's our fans. Like, we can't control who the fuck our fans are."
So they came in and were disruptive to the show.
No, they came to just watch the show.
Oh. And they mad that Proud Boys like him.
They were mad that he wasn't mad and kicked him out.
And see, that's the stupid shit that I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Like you cannot want me to respond the way you respond to what you respond to.
Yeah.
And especially because this is how I eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you can't control. Like you might have a fan that beats women. You just don't know. It's like
now that's fucked up. I do. If you beat women and you're a fan of me, you can go jump off a cliff. But
it's like you can't control that.
For sure. And like there's a difference, right? Like because just because you're a Proud Boy, it means you're an asshole. It don't mean that you're a monster, right? Or it don't mean like that's what I mean. Like I don't want people to make the mental jumps because that's a mental jump, right? To say like, oh, you ain't kick the Proud Boys out, that mean you fuck with them. No, that means that I'm at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't be behind the counter at Subway and ask somebody, hey, is that a Trump hat? I'm not serving you.
Yeah.
That's not how that fucking works. You know what I mean? So like that's it's people are projecting their inadequacies and their inability to maneuver in the political spectrum and create any change in their community or in their country.
Yeah.
And so now they want to project on entertainers because it's easier.
Well, I listened to this podcast. I forgot which podcast it was, but it's like a podcast about neurology and psychology. And it's interesting because they were talking about how what's changed between now and like when we grew. How old are you?
Oh, 32.
I just turned 37 last week. Man.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Thanks. But I that's why you can't see the graphics because my fucking hair is white. But so they on this podcast they're talking about what's changed from our upbringing to now. A lot less people are religious, but humans naturally. I mean, since they killed Jesus to since there were witch hunts. You're left-handed. We're burning you at the stake.
Shit.
People don't have religion now, and so like their political views became their religion. So it's almost like it's
whoa, that's scary.
Yeah, like they need like people who are like a lot of people who I mean this is gonna fucking piss off people, but I feel people who are. I'm just going to be blunt, like useless. Like they don't have a passion. They don't have a drive. They don't have anything that they're moving towards. They want to join some team and
to feel belong.
And and today's team is outrage. They're like, oh, I'm on this team and I'm going to go, because I'm like, dude, we live in the most privileged fucking country ever. Why are you camping at a college? You could go enlist in the fucking army like what in the Ukrainian army or what? Why are you protesting when you could do this? What's holding you back? So it's like solutions, you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I was getting at is, so Luis Gomez, like a lot of people hated on him, but what was driving me nuts is he was coming through the Midwest. I'm like, why the fuck do all these people hate him, but they want to open for him? I'm like, dude, I got vulgar comedy. Have me fucking open for him. You know, it's like you're matching two things together that match, you know? So I was venting to my friend. I'm not going to mention who he is. He was like, yo, man, well, you're good at roasting, right? You've done some roast battles. I'm like, well, I did like 4 and I only won one of them. He's like, but you're good at it, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, we got him judging for one of our roasts if you want to come. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I love for him to judge
That's
me.
huge.
Yeah? So I went up to Wisconsin and Lewis did his show and then he judged my roast. And that night, I think we were me and Connor O'Hara, I roasted him. I think we were the best roasters of that night. Like, we got the best response, judging by laughs. Only thing I would bitch about is, you know, I'm used to Chicago roast battle Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say 7 jokes. They're strict about that shit. They even tell you, last joke, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They told us 5 jokes. Bro, there were people going up to like 18. So I was
You gassed out.
yeah.
But also, you know, that I hate when they do that, but also you got to be prepared because even when I did Christian battle, I had more jokes than I used.
Yeah,
Because you never know, bro. Because that's some bullshit to pull up with only 7 and they're like, yeah, 18. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they told me 5 and I pulled up with 9. And then once I hit 9, like, because it came to me and they're looking at me like, and I just go, that's all I got. And Lewis is like, fuck this guy. What the? Well, that's all you got? What the? This guy told me he's a fan. Man, fuck that. I'm going to kill myself after. I'm like, oh, shit, dude.
Damn.
Because I was doing good up until that point, you know?
Damn.
But here's the wild shit. So, you know who Ari Shaffir is?
Yeah.
He's the guy who got all this shit for Kobe. You know, he's the one who posted when.
No, he be down there in Texas too. He be on he be around.
But he's the guy who got all this shit when Kobe died. He said, "Oh, you guys feeling bad for this rapist?" He's the guy because he's always.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. He's always stirring the pot. He's a troll. He dosed like 2 comedians on a podcast and shit.
Yeah, weirdo.
So yeah, but Lewis always makes fun of Ari for being Jewish, and dude. So, because my dad died 3 years ago, I was just going through his shit because I was, you know, my basement flooded, so I was going through his shit. And my dad's an old fucking crazy Polak like me. He had a 1934 Third Reich Nazi coin that I found. Because he just had coins from everywhere that he collected, but he had a Nazi coin. Because Europeans collect World War II shit, you know? My uncle had a fucking Nazi ring that he gave me on confirmation. So I'm like,
what is confirmation? What's that?
That's like an 8th grade communion type shit. It's a Catholic thing, you know.
Wait, you can give people Nazi stuff on Catholic holidays?
You can't. No, you can't. No, I don't know why he gave it.
Yeah,
to me.
I didn't know that was a thing that you passed down.
No, he gave it to me. I'm like, I'm like, why the fuck do I? Because I have 3 Holocaust survivors in my family. I'm like, why the fuck? Why do you want me to have this?
Maybe it's like a remember type of thing.
I don't know. I sold it but to some sketchy white dude at a gun shop. But
yeah, definitely sketchy.
Yeah, so that's you know that's the funny thing with Nazi shit is if you can only donate it to museums, you know. So if you have that shit and you want to get rid of it, you can either donate it to a museum, or you got to sell it to a fucking Nazi at a gun shop.
That's hilarious. Because who else wants it?
Yeah, because who else wants it? So actually, fun fact. I think I mentioned this on another podcast, but my dad was he was a jeweler, so he used to rip off Nazis. Because what he'd do is there's a way to date metal, and he used to buy 1930s silver, and then he just counterfeit Nazi like jewelry, and then sell it to Nazis, so it was fake, you know.
Damn.
But anyway, so I saw this coin, and I'm like, dude, man, I'm fucking wild. So I gotta be like, Lewis, give this to Ari and be like, yo, you motherfuckers chase after coins, you know? Like, and I'm like, he's either gonna punch me in the face or laugh his ass off. He laughed his ass off.
Oh, he was there too?
No, Ari wasn't, but Lewis was, and I gave it to him, and he laughed his ass off. He's like, It was so fun. I was trying to explain it to him, but not seem like a fanboy, So I'm just like, oh man, you know what's hilarious? So like my dad died like 3 years ago. He's like, yeah, man, that's hilarious. So
Asshole.
yeah. He was not. I felt bad because he was not. Like certain comics, like we like you said, like you were out till 5. This is kind of like you would call this probably this is like a down day for you. But
easy.
I wouldn't be able to tell. Like you're not like, oh man, fuck, when is this shit gonna be over?
No, bro. It's we build up stamina.
Yeah.
And it's just like when like Anthony Edwards, he was gassed. You know what I mean? But like, it's your first time getting this deep in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like people like Kyrie Irving, it ain't his first time. He done won a ring. He like, you supposed to be tired as fuck, Luka. Like, yeah, Luka, like, yo, I'm tired as fuck. He like, yeah, good, you're supposed to be. So it's like, But like Lewis was completely like, he looked like he got hit by a train. And that's that tour life though. That tour life is motherfucker, Joe.
But then he went up and did his show, and he was talking about how he got broken up, and that's why he's feeling bad. I'm like, bro, she's number 14 this year, man. Don't pretend.
But you know what it is though. As a comedian, we be having our shit because like I just had a breakup, and it be sucking because even though we are who we are, we have our like, it's not regular, but the things we are dependent on, used to, in our corner, and even if it is, his 14th this year is crazy. But I know in my case it was like fuck, like it almost feel like don't get me wrong, stand up, you in it by yourself, but if you got a partner, it feel like you in it, they in it with you.
Yeah.
Because you know how it is. Our lifestyle is crazy. Like we need people to buy in.
Yeah.
And when you have somebody break up with you, that's somebody who's closer to you that is no longer bought in.
Yeah.
And it's like fuck. And depending on what your thing is, right? Like for me, I have like abandonment issues from childhood, so it's like fuck, another person gone type shit. But yeah, man, that tour life, dude, that's a motherfucker. I can only imagine.
I can't thank my wife enough for being supportive. Because a lot of people be like, you're going to all these mics, you're not spending time with me. But we have stuff that lines up, like the day I do a mic, she's doing Zumba or something. You know what I mean? So it's like
Zumba. That's funny as hell. That's some Mary shit. But that is
some Mary dude. So when I met my wife, she was working at she's from Lombard.
Oh, okay.
And she was working at a fuck, man, dude. This happened to me This happened to me. I had Ruben Ramirez on,
Oh, Rube.
And right when we started, a cat took a fat shit. So if it smells right now, man, the litter box is right. Worst timing, man. I'll wrap it up because we're going to be sitting in this fucking cat shit room.
I did smell it. I did. You funny as hell.
Hey, you know what, man?
You funny as hell.
Oh man. So she's from Lombard, and she used to work at this. It was like a YMCA, but it's a souped up YMCA. Like the city pays for it. It's the best
in Lombard.
Yeah.
What they getting money from? That's not what a zoo at, because the zoo is in Brookfield, right?
No. It's called Quartz Plus, and it's
Quartz Plus sounds cool as hell.
It's the biggest gym I ever been to. They have like
indoor.
Yeah. Like 4 basketball courts. They have an Olympic pool. They have a track. All the yoga studios are in the basement. Then there's a top floor. I mean, it's huge. But when I met her, she used to work there in the daycare because she didn't have a babysitter to take care of the kids. So the kid could go there for free.
That's smart.
And man, I remember one time she told me, she's like, do you want to go to Zumba with me? And in my head, I thought it was. Do you remember Ty Bo?
Yeah, with Billy Blanks.
Yeah, I thought it was Ty Bo. So I dressed up like all badass.
But also, ain't Zumba dancing?
Yeah. So I show up there like I look like a washed up '80s hair metal guy.
Oh, what's my boy Richard Simmons?
Yeah. I had cut off jeans, like a Dago tee, band shirt, a bandana, and she's like, "All right, you sure you're okay with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be okay? We're gonna be fucking swinging, left hooks." And then they put on, some reggaeton music. I'm like, oh fuck, whatever. I was the only dude in the class.
Yeah, you'll be the only one in there for sure.
But I kept up. So.
Yeah, I done pulled up to like trap yoga and you know where they been twerking and all that with the yoga. They like, Kyrie, are you comfortable? I'm like, y'all
Did you join in the twerking?
No, but because one of the cool things about yoga, they tell you like, do what's comfortable. Cool.
Yeah.
Clapping ass ain't my thing.
Yeah.
However, y'all clapping ass is a thing, so that's cool. Supportive.
I did some serious white people yoga. I did fucking. Have you ever heard of goat yoga?
You just made it up.
No.
What the fuck is goat yoga? Like, you fucking goats?
No, you do it with so the point of yoga is like you're supposed to focus on one thing so you get in that meditative state, you know. So like, you know, people like with ADHD, they'll do yoga, but they're thinking of, oh man, what do I got to do at work tomorrow? What time do I got to get up? When do I got to pick up the kids? So they're trying. The point is like, how do you get them to focus on one thing? They bring in like 10 goats in the room, and they hop on your back. And they're chilling on your back.
There's no fucking way a goat got on your back.
Yeah. I'll show you the picture. I'm in like, you know, Shavasana or whatever with a fucking goat chilling on my back, like licking my neck.
Where do you get that type of freaky farm experience? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's a farm. It's called like Break the Curse Farm or some shit. I
can't wait because Catherine, my co-host, for Beyond Bars, is the president of Prison Yoga.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell her like, I found something for us to do.
Yeah.
Morning exercise. Y'all gonna let ghosts lick on us? Damn, like, Carrie, what the fuck is wrong with you? You go to the North Burbs one time, and you come down talking about, let's get ghosts to lick us.
Yeah. No, man, that shit was. You know. One time I was going to Quartz Plus, and my wife was like, "Yo, do you want to do some yoga for free?" And I was a welder for 15 years, so I was like beat, man. I was like, man, fine, I'll do yoga, you know, to get some brownie points with the woman's, you know. And she goes, "Wait till you see a little woman," and I'm just like, I just didn't even register. And I didn't realize. I go in there, bro. So here's the thing: when you're a welder, you work like 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. Like you will work 80 hours a week, and it was like winter. So what I would do is I would make like on Sunday, I would make like a 5-gallon fucking pot of chili to just have the whole week, because I know I'm gonna eat all my 3 meals at work because how long I'm fucking working. So that day, I ate 4 meals of chili, and now I'm going to fucking yoga, you know? And now she's telling me, wait till you see this little lady. Bro, there was a woman there the size of a suitcase. She was like 1.5 feet tall. And I'm right behind her. I was blowing farts the whole fucking. I'm like, dude, this has to be like Oppenheimer behind it, you know?
Disgusting.
Yeah, it was so bad. And then the part that makes me laugh is like,
you can't be walking around with Nazi memorabilia and gassing people. You gotta fucking pick which one you're gonna do. Fucking gas chamber the whole room,
dude. The shit that I remember the worst is I was like, man, let's see what kind of whip she's got. What kind of car do little people drive, you know?
Probably a fucking Tonka truck.
Dude, we ran out there. She had a modified Escalade. So I was.
How is this lady that small? Like, what type of pygmy shit is this? What are you talking
about? They like raised the pedals.
So she's a little person, pretty much.
Yeah. She was literally like 2 feet tall, like up to my knee, and she drive. I'm like, dude, can you imagine getting into road rage with a tinted Escalade, and this little person hops out yelling at you? Like, that's like that one guy in Friday that is like. The guy, like when he's at work, his wife cheats with everybody in the neighborhood, and he pops out of the car.
Oh, when he pulled back up and Bernie Mac was fucking his wife.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember that.
Oh,
damn.
Man. But yeah, so I always ended off with like, so I want to talk about like you. I want to talk like what got you into comedy. You're 32. How many years you been in comedy?
Man,
talk about Kyrie Da Comic.
It's funny. I just had a crazy ex call me. It's so disturbing. 32. I turned 33 in August, man. So shout out to that. It'll be 10 years in comedy.
So you're gonna be 33 this August?
Yeah. and I turned 10 in December.
Wait, how long was the comedy?
10 in December.
10 in December. Oh,
10 years in December.
wow.
Yep.
You're the nicest 10-year comic I ever met. You know.
Well, that's funny. That's why Dan was telling me that, because I invest more in like in treating people right. And
Yeah.
trying to heal. And I think that shit. Yeah, I think that shit. It takes you far. You know what I mean?
It does, man.
Investing in the community. Like for example, in August as well, I'll be doing a conference linked around like self-forgiving, self-love.
Yeah.
Restorative practices for our community as artists, but also for ourselves. What does it look like as a community for us to, embark on an action plan to create change that's meaningful to us? So the way like I care about like the judicial system, or I care about injustices, or I care about people being locked up, right? I make a podcast. I bring my funny to that. I bring my production skills to that. I bring my whatever to that. And it's encourage people, hey, whatever your thing is, use your God-given art talent to impact the thing that you care about. No matter if it's fucking puppies. Maybe you out here, you like, yo, I love painting. Now you make paintings for puppies, and people love it. Now they buy them, and then you donate the goods to an animal shelter, right?
Yeah.
It's so many ways for us to interact with the world, which is why I understand what you're talking about when you're talking about, hey, people aren't acting. They're just protesting. They're just complaining. They're not actually creating the action. And so
because
it's like...
Because I don't think most people are actually suffering from the events that are happening. I think they're suffering within.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I talk about that like self healing, right? Like you gotta know.
You make your bed before you make the world's type.
100%. And like you control, like you control yourself, and that's all you can control. You can't control the world. So if the world keeps triggering you, you have to heal yourself.
You know who I heard that from too is I forgot what the guy's name. He was the guy who made Fubu on Shark Tank.
Oh yeah. Damon, is that his name? Damon or something like that?
I forgot his name, but he was talking about. He goes, the first thing he said, he's like, 80% of your life is, or 20% of your life is what happens to you. 80% is your reaction. But then he also said, he goes like, dude, when you try to convince somebody, they got to be at 50% for you to sway them. You ain't gonna fucking change anybody. Mm-hmm. So you gotta do some action. You know what I mean?
That's real.
Like that. That's why I love shitting on both sides of the political spectrum, because you got these protesters on one side.
You got to shit on both sides. You have to, because they're both idiots.
But then on the other side, you got these right wing fucking dads in New Balances, who, how many motherfuckers are telling you about every conspiracy in the world, but they're crying like a bitch. What are you gonna do about it? Hillary Clinton's selling kids from a pizzeria and a base. Okay, you're bitching about it, bro. What are you gonna do about it? I never heard Pizza Hut giving that good of a deal.
That's fucked. But I do feel you on that. Like I think that if we can encourage people to take actions, right? Like it's people out that are protesting about families, but they don't fuck with their own family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's people out talking about, a federal government. You can't tell me about your local government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's people who say, I love the kids. You can't tell me who your kid's teacher is. So, like, what are we, like, that refocusing on actions that are, attached
in your control.
In your control, right? Like within your reason. And I don't want to always say within your control, because sometimes you do need somebody to go out there and deliver a speech and not know who's going to hear it, right? Or raise awareness, right? Maybe they call them a whistleblower. Leak some info that's important so that other people can make decisions on it. But I do think that it has to be action based. It got to be action based, and it has to be authentic to your lifestyle.
It's funny you say speech, because I was trying to. This bit is not going to work, but I was working on this bit about how I'm like a sound mixing nerd, So I was like, man, you know what? When those fucking Nazis were getting together in the 30s, that sound was horrible. So you got to admit, there's some guys in the back row who are like, what the hell is that midget yelling about? I mean, whatever. I guess I'll just follow along.
That's fucked up.
Like, because there was but yeah, I just feel like a lot of wild philosophy. I take like aspects from Taoism and Stoicism.
Shout out to Stoicism. Yeah, you gotta be stoic.
And what's crazy is what people don't realize is you can only change what you can control. And what's funny is you're like, oh, I'm trying to change the world. I want the world to be a kinder place. Yelling at people to be kind won't work. But if you change your community, your family, your friends, you're leading by example, which in turn changes the world. It's just you know what that is? That's the hard work. They don't want to be doing that. They just want the results.
And that's why I don't fuck with people who do the convenient work.
Yeah.
Right? Like don't tell me about what's going. Don't tell me about something that's happening far, far away. You don't care about what's happening 12 minutes away.
Yeah.
Because then it shows that you're choosing. Now, why you choose is up to you. But if someone who's invested, can see the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think other people do? You don't think people, and that's why, like I always say, people be asshats. Like you don't see how the rest of the world see you.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't see how people who not in your community see you. You lack that amount of self-awareness to understand, like, yo, even though I care and my heart might have been in the right place, I was a bit of an asshat in how I executed it. You know what I mean? Or who I belittled, right? Because, like, to your point, how wild is that you want to make the world better by belittling people?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, just think about, like, you plan on having a better community by telling people that they're fucking idiots and that they, you know what I mean? Or like, like you get more bees with honey than water. You know what I mean? Like, dog, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. There's I forgot who said it. It was like a local comedian in some state. He's not big, but there's a clip where he's just like, man, I had this protester run up to me, screaming at me, telling I'm gonna start a revolution. He's like, man, you can't even have eye contact with your dad.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good ass joke. I forgot who that was. That is a good ass joke. Right? Yeah. They be talking all that shit. You don't even look your daddy in the eyes. That's funny as hell. But I think man, just going back to the
going back to your podcast. That's awesome.
But yeah, and also like the conference that I'll be doing in Oak Park in August, but also I'll be doing a program with youth where we teach them like podcasting skills. We teach them stand up. They'll be able to do like a 3-minute, 5-minute set, 3 to 5 minute set by the end of the summer because we're gonna work with them with draft and jokes, improv as well. So I just encourage people, if you watching this joke, get involved with something that matters to you. And I don't care what you think, right? Some people think the world is gonna end. Cool, prep. Get other community of preppers together. Just don't get stagnant and not doing.
Yeah, that's what's making you miserable.
That actually it is the root of a lot of depression because you've started to put that to-do list and it just keeps getting longer and it keeps getting longer, and the freedom is actually in the work that you're putting off.
Yeah.
That anguish that you're feeling, it alleviates once you start to do those things that you can't go to sleep because you think about it. Yeah. You wake up thinking about it. Just do that shit.
Yeah. During lockdown, I was trying to write a book about. You seen Shawshank Redemption?
Oh yeah, that's a movie, man.
That's fucking
Andy Dufresne. Yeah, man.
And you know when he says in there, this is a part of the reason why they didn't let me speak at these mental hospitals.
Wow.
It was called NAMI, National Association of Mental Illness. Part of the reason why they didn't let me speak was because I was writing this book about that line in the movie where he goes, "Get busy living or get busy dying." I was writing a book called "Get Busy Laughing or Get Busy Crying," and
that sounds good.
And the premise was like, I don't care what you went through, whether you got fucking beaten up, raped, robbed, take that, write it into a joke. Take your most vulnerable fucking thing and write it into a joke. And they didn't like that, but it worked for me.
And see, that's what I'm saying, and that's the beauty of it, right? Like it worked for you. And we could offer it as a solution. They probably don't like it because it's pretty unorthodox.
It's unorthodox.
Yeah. I would argue that, and that's why I was saying, like, make sure that you heal before you get on stage to heal.
Yeah,
make sure you create that space. But to your point, it does create that type of closure. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to say once, like, man, it sucked to watch your friend overdose and die.
Yeah.
Right? And like to come to terms with that. And to come to terms with it to the point where you've created a joke that informs people about the importance of addiction, the importance of like Narcan or whatever, right? The importance of being there for your friends, the importance of looking for the signs, while also healing yourself and healing your community, because maybe somebody else could relate, or maybe somebody else is like, damn, maybe I do need to put the pen down, or put the needle down. So it's so many things that can come from it, but it got to be, the root of it got to be healing, and it got to be whatever the intention is. If the intention is to heal, the intention is to be good, it'll be through and through.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You got to let people know that like laughing part is an option. I was just arguing with my friend the other day about how it's funny how like you never know what kind of Marine you're gonna run into. Because there's the Marines that are like,
you a Marine too?
No.
Oh
no, I
said,
did,
what the fuck? Your life is cracking.
Yeah, no, I did ROTC, but I like booked before they were gonna ship me to Afghanistan. So I told them, I basically it's that immigrant hustle, man. I basically I screwed the government over because what I did was I joined ROTC. They paid for my college. I realized they didn't have epilepsy on there. So I let them know that I'm epileptic after they paid for everything.
Nice.
And they honorable discharge.
Nice, good for you.
So, but I was just arguing with my friend about how like I have comedian friends who are Marines because he works at a fire station and he's like, man, this fucking Marine, he's always got a chip on his shoulder. He feels like I fought for your fucking government, suck my dick when I walk in a room. But then comedian Marines, they're busting balls like crazy. So it's just, that's what the world is. There's just people who, they got that chip on their shoulder, and if you try and take it away, they kind of miss that chip.
Yeah, because they've identified with the pain.
Yeah.
Their identity is contingent on victimhood.
Yeah.
And it's super dangerous because the instance that you take that victimhood from them or you give them a plausible, they don't actually want that because they don't know what they are without it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a scary, sad situation, but it's a very real thing because a lot of people actually identify so much with victimhood or pain that they don't know no other way.
They don't know warriorhood.
And they also sabotage healing. Because healing would mean that I can't be a victim, or it would mean that I can't complain no more, it would mean that I can't have this permanent growl on my face. And it's like, yo, why would I want to heal? This is all I know. This is me.
Yeah.
And it takes a very confident, courageous person to be able to say like, yo, I don't know what I look like when I heal. I don't know if I'll be the same. I might not even have the same people around me, but I know I want to be the better person.
Yeah, yeah.
It's huge, man.
Yeah,
huge.
What was that? I remember I was like, when I wrote that down, get busy laughing, get busy crying, I was like, am I being a hypocrite? Like, could I do that with me? And one of the most messed up things that happened to me, I got kidnapped by my dad. We went, I mean, long story short, it wasn't like, it's not like a fucking, because everybody who grew up in America, you're flooded with Hollywood ideas of whatever, of a rape, of a kidnapping. So it's not like he fucking kidnapped me. We went on a visitation, me, my brother, and my grandma. He got pissed off at me, so he knocked me out, and then he tried to take off. Like, he tried to take it because he's like, oh, they're gonna arrest me, and then he threw me out of the moving car. And I'm like, how the fuck can I make that?
How old was you?
I was like maybe 7.
Damn, he was already taking punches. Good for you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And I was like, how the fuck can I? How do you?
He threw you out of the car while it was moving at the age of 7.
Yeah. And
fuck, he got you ready for the real world.
Yeah. And I was like, how the fuck do I make that funny? And you know what I thought about it? I was like, man, when I woke up, I was like, man, I'm like the Terminator, dude. I traveled through that black hole, wake up in the middle of nowhere naked. I mean, I wasn't naked, but I'm like, oh. I'm like, man, I was trying to write the bit of like where a woman walked in. She's like, do you need help? And I was like, give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle, like, because that's the only way I could think of, like, how do I make this? And it helped me heal. How do I make it into a joke? And I get what you're saying about, like, that's their identity, because it's like they feel like, it's almost like, like, say something happened to you that you didn't want to talk about. Like, say it was the death of your mom, you said?
No, my mom didn't die. She just diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah. And say, like, I only know you for about a year, right? Say we were out somewhere and I just started talking about, oh, yeah, this guy's mom got multiple sclerosis, If you were a person who wasn't healed, you'd be like, wait a minute. Do I know this motherfucker enough to where he could be talking about me and my situation that much? And I think that's part of, like, people being stuck in that healing phase where they're like, you got to get to the phase 2 where you're like, this happened to me, but it's okay. We can talk about it,
And, like, once you start to talk about it, you get to the point like you're talking about, like, what about it? We gonna act? You ready to act on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And I think that's the key, because once you start to act, you can't even act without healing, because you're gonna heal while you're acting. Which is why I be irritated with people who are just talking, because I know that you're self-sabotaging and you're ducking, like you said, that real work.
Yeah.
Go do that real work. Go heal, and then create a atmosphere for someone else to never go through that situation.
That's what I tell people at EMDR. I'm like, EMDR is the boot camp of therapy, because you're opening up. So I'll just do a quick brief explanation, because I know you're interested in this, but I've done videos on it before. Is EMDR, what you're doing is it's eye movement desensitization reprocessing. So what you're doing is you're reopening an old wound, but you're letting it heal the right way. So picture if you like fell on glass because you tripped or something, and now it's an infection, and over the years it hurts more and more because it's a fucking infection. With EMDR, you're going through that thing again, but you're cleaning the infection out so that it scars over
Emotionally.
And so what happens to people, because here's what's crazy, most people are used to talk therapy, where you're like, oh, I see this guy every week, every month, whatever, right? With EMDR, when you process it, you can't see him for another 6 weeks, because you have to you dream, you have nightmares for 6 weeks, because your brain's neurons are reconnecting it
To the old memories.
to a new thing, where it's like, this is just a memory, but it doesn't like give me a panic attack to think about.
But that means you have to experience it again, though, which is different.
Yeah, so that's why it's the boot camp, is because if you go halfway and you don't finish it, it'll fuck you up more. So you gotta make sure you go all the way through. It's kind of like how people say, when you take a heroic amount of acid or whatever, but.
So that's what they call. Okay, that just fucked me up, because I was wondering about the hero's dose, and so now it makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you start off, trying to help the community, and like, but when did you think you were like, oh, yo, man, I want to do stand up? You've been doing it for 10 years, like.
Yeah.
Who would you say your top 3 influences are, and have they changed?
Yeah, they changed because I changed, man.
Yeah.
Like I went in it. Shout out to Rashida. She's amazing writer and comedian, but we went to school together. So before I dropped out and went to Second City, she saw me do like shows, radio. I would open for comedians when they came to my college. She was like, "Yo, you're the one. Like, you funny as hell. Take it serious."
Yeah.
And like that's when I, not necessarily dropped out, but like, I stopped going to a 4-year institution. I started going to Second City.
Yeah.
And then from there, even in undergrad when I was doing comedy and stuff, I could book comedians and things, because I was like president of Black Student Union, a student association senator. I was very community focused.
Yeah.
And so when I started to go to Second City and I'm adding these refined skills, I'm doing improv, I'm doing writing, that led me actually getting into youth motivational speeches, because at that point I'm in my young 20s.
So you probably never had stage fright then?
No.
Yeah.
No. Even my first time ever doing stand-up at college, I was in front of like 700 people.
Oh, wow. What college was it?
Northern Illinois University.
Oh, wow.
So like I never had the stage fright, because shit, like around that time I was also getting diagnosed with all these different things, which is why Second City perfect timing, right? Yeah. For like, improv and being able to really like dig deep into all of the cool things, from breath work into a host of things. But doing all that positive work led me into youth motivational speeches, where I was doing some of those projects, like I was telling you, where we figure out what people care about. Yeah. And we create a community impacting program or a project around it. Mm-hmm. So some kids want to do, and like that's to your point, we don't want to focus on the negative. If it's about stopping shooting, let's increase the peace. You know what I mean? If it's about stopping hunger, let's do a food pantry project. Mm-hmm. Let's promote what it is that we want to do. And so that's how I got locked in with like Facebook and all those really cool companies that were doing good work for young people. It's like, yo, I know you probably a shit. I've done some crazy speeches with people like Dow Chemical Company, who was like behind Agent Orange, but they was like, yo, we want to reach the kids. And I'm like, fuck it, if you got money, let's do it. Let's go ahead, let's pump them up, because it's not always like I know, and a lot of people are like, yo, you shouldn't be able to do good with those people that have done bad, but I would argue that that's literally the world we live in.
Yeah.
People are just selective.
You know,
No matter if it's a country that did bad, no matter if it's a company that did bad, no matter if it's a person that wronged people. If you believe in restorative practices, if you believe that even a broken clock can be right, if you believe that even broken people can be good at some point,
yeah.
then you have to have that same energy and understanding like, yo, if I'm for the help, sometimes it's somebody that was a shithead back in the day or they have done shitty things. That don't mean that we can't help others.
Yeah, you got to rebuild them, yeah. You know, it's funny that you say the whole, like, you know, rebuilding a community, if it has to do, like you said, you don't focus on negative, like, shootings and stuff, you know? You know, one thing that I had to fucking absolutely let go was I grew up being bullied a lot. I was in like 17 fights in my just street fights in my life. You know, like I'm a head injury away from full retard. Like, so I like, and going into comedy, you know, it's like, so there's two things I want to mention. First thing, I remember before we were talking about being your true self. Like people want to see your vulnerable self. The first like year and a half, you know, we were talking about Chicago having all this all these clicks. I was like trying so fucking hard to be accepted by this one clique, and I realized when I started flying solo, so many people got your back because they're like, oh yeah, I know Phil. He's fucking great. He's cool with everybody. He's not sticking with this one clique and joining, because you know what every clique has in common. They're hating on something. It's the hate that's uniting them. You know,
that's deep.
Because they're not, hey, let's get together because we're a group of good people, you know? No, they're like, we're not getting shows or we're not getting booked or how is this, you know?
Whoa, that's deep. I do see that.
You know?
But imagine how wild it is to click with other losers that's losing and complain about losing.
And you know what I noticed too is like the clicks that I saw, the people that always left were the ones that are, I'm going to Austin or I'm going to New York. Cause
they get further.
Because you guys are fucking dragging me down like crabs in a bucket, you know?
Yeah.
And, but, so that was the one thing. But the other thing I was going to say is, so one thing that I had to let go was trying to fit in. The other thing I had to let go, because I was always standing up for myself and shit, I'm thinking about the whole, how you're talking about a community where there's shootings. You got to let go of the thug shit. You cannot, meaning like, so many times in my life, I was like, wherever I go, I better keep that thug on. I better not be the bitch in that room. And it's like when you go on stage, people don't give a fuck. They'll laugh more if you are the bitch. Do not go up there trying to be
too tough,
hot, like tough. Yeah, you gotta like. They want to hear about the vulnerable side. You know, I even had a guy tell me one time when I first started. I haven't seen him in a while. He does more like online shit. His name's Winslow Dumaine. He's a Chicago comic. I remember one time I asked him, like, what do you think I should change about my comedy? He goes, you know, it'd be funny as fuck. Tell people about how much of a pussy you are. And I'm like, why? He goes, because you look scary, man. And I started doing shit like that, you know, where I was like,
that's actually interesting. Yeah.
You know?
Because, you know, if you are physically intimidating,
yeah.
It can disarm people. You know what I mean? Because people can see me and they're like, "Yo, dude, what?" But then, like when I get on stage, I got this big ass grin, this big ass smile, and people are like, "Okay." I allow my smile to disarm them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, even if you don't take that exact route, continue to expose your feelings is gonna be the thing, right? Because it, like he said, like, Joe, they look at you like, "Yo, is he selling meth? Like, what the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
And it's like, no. I'm here to talk to you about mental health. No, I'm actually here to talk to you about some different shit, some brighter shit, some better energetic frequency shit. And people will be like, oh, well, that's different. Versus if you got up there, you look like you sell meth, and now you're like, yo, I'll punch a motherfucker in the face. It's like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know, like that's when I changed my formula up, where I'm like, the first at least minute of every set I do, it's got to be self-deprecation. It's got to be like, this guy's laughing at himself. I know I look like I'm selling meth or refurbished AK-47s in the fucking parking lot, but really, I foster cats. You know, like.
Yeah. Like, and see, look, and see, like, even then, that's the beauty in it, because the word like foster is so funny, you know. So you could talk about like, man, I look like I do these things. I look like I foster hate against Jews, but I really just foster cats. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of things you could play with that, but as long as your energy is right, everything else will fall in line.
Like I didn't even write this as a bit. This actually just happened. I was having some problems with snoring, and I realized it's because I fucking smoke too much. But I went to the doctor to see if I got like sleep apnea or some shit, and bro, they're pushing that Ozempic shit like crazy.
Still?
Yeah.
I thought it was a fucking shortage.
Well, they're just like, I guess they get a big cut. The doctors who prescribe.
We was talking about that earlier. They do that. Yeah, wow.
And so
Ozempic is paying people off to push Ozempic. Yeah. That's fucking nasty.
And what's crazy is the doctor that I usually see. I love him. His name's Dr. Sue. He's this. He looks like the gay Asian dude in Star Trek, but
I met him before. Random fucking world.
That guy,
George. What's his name?
Yeah, George Takei.
Yeah. But didn't he get He caught a weird Me Too case where he was like taking man butt, and I was like, "Damn, George, I didn't know you was like that." Oh man, I really,
he pressed that fucking pin and he disappeared.
He pressed the wrong pin. That's what he did. The pin was that young man's asshole.
But that day, I had his assistant, and she's a fucking she's trying to get all the cuts. She's like a nurse straight out of school, so she's trying to pay off her bills. And she goes, "Oh yeah, you should go on Ozempic." I'm like, "The fuck does Ozempic have to do with sleep apnea?" And she's like, "Oh well, because you got to lose weight, And I'm like,
"Why the fuck? No, you just."
Yeah. I was so pissed. But the funny thing is, she just keeps going. She's looking at her like clipboard, and she goes, "Yeah, you don't have a problem like injecting something into your arm." And then she like looks at me, she's like, "No, you don't got a problem with injecting shit in your arm." so
you got fucking typed by your nurse?
Yeah, man.
Dog, that's funny.
Dude, the amount of like patience that people in the doctor field have lost. I've been roasted by so many doctors. I went one time to urgent care, and she's like, You're a wrestler, aren't you? You're a fucking. I'm like, no. What do you mean? She's like, in WWF or something. I'm like, no. Why do you? She's like, well, you look like one. You look like one of the. And then when I left, I realized the stuff she said after. She was hinting that I'm like a failed wrestler. That's I'm like some Chris Benoit shit, And I'm like, hey, fuck, man.
That's. I don't know how you want to work that, but a doctor assuming that you sell meth and wrestle.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't know how you want to do it, but brother, there's something there.
Yeah,
there's definitely something there.
The funniest situation I ever had with a doctor. This is some Polak shit. We had a fucking family. We gotta go. Okay.
Oh
yeah, we could wrap it up. Yeah. When we had people got a family church. You were saying we had a family doctor, and bro, I grew up in the '90s, so I don't know if you remember Tom Green.
That sounds familiar as hell.
He was
the comedian, the awkward one though, right?
Yeah,
wasn't he like awkward? Yeah, I remember him.
Got fingered.
Yeah.
I loved him. I wanted to do street comedy before.
Where is he right now? Is he still alive?
He's got a podcast. He does he travels. He has like a Sprinter van that's modified, and he sets up like camps in like Yellowstone or in Canada.
I feel like that's on brand for him.
Yeah,
he was always like that type of like awkward, like naturistic. So that's good.
And he said he grew up in Canada in a cabin hunting and shit.
And there you have it.
But
there's something about a fucking nature person. You can feel the nature radiating off of him. Nice.
Yeah, but he's real anxious in real life. When he keeps a straight face when he did that goofy shit, but in real life he was like he's always nervous and shit. But what was I gonna say? I forgot what the fuck I was saying. Oh, so I grew up around the time he got ball cancer. And I went to my Polish family doctor. I'm just like, I think I have ball cancer. She's like, what makes you think that? I'm like, because I got a fucking lump there. And she looked at me from across the room. She's like, no, you don't have it. I'm like, bitch, feel my fucking balls. I got to see if I have cancer. What the fuck is that?
Bitch, feel my balls is such a wild statement. It makes sense in this context, but if you take it out of this context, screaming at a lady, bitch, feel my balls, you're done, Phil.
So I had to go for a second opinion. I found out that I didn't even know this. This is crazy. That your left ball is supposed to hang lower than your right because you have like a vein there. But like for the longest time, I'm just like, man, I got some Tom Green cancer balls. You know,
That's fucked up. He thought you had what's that biker that the guy that ride the bikes and lost a nut?
Is it Lance Armstrong?
Yeah. You thought you was gonna land you, huh?
Oh, bro, quick story. Quick story. I worked at Jewel.
Oh, what?
I like when I got out of college, I worked there for like 3 years. I got a friend. He's mentally challenged. He's the funniest motherfucker in the world. Cause he's wild. He'll go to party and be like, "Suck my dick." Like he's fucking wild. And
that might actually be too wild.
I used to go to metal shows with him. Cause long story short, what he told me is he has the opposite of Rain Man. So you know how like when people are autistic are they like
quiet?
Yeah. Their social skills are down, but their educational skills are up. He had the opposite, where his social skills were up. He'd party. He'd fucking have 40 beers in a sitting, but then his education is like 6th grade, And one time he told me he was pissed that he stayed as a cart person at Jewel at the grocery store. If I don't know anybody the 80 views I get is not around Jewel's, but so he's like, I want to fucking move up. You need to train me. They were training him to be a cashier, and he fainted because it was too much for him to learn to run a cashier because he didn't have the educational skills. He fainted, and they found out he had ball cancer. And I I didn't talk to him for a while. I'm like, man, how the fuck? His name's Ross. I'm like, Ross, how the fuck did you not know he had ball cancer? And he's like, well, what do you mean? Because they caught it in the MRI. I'm like, all right, well, if you don't mind me asking, how big was it? He's like, oh, about the size of a softball. I'm like, and you didn't think you had fucking ball cancer? And you know what he goes? He goes, well, yeah, because I got big fucking balls, bro. I thought that's what that means when you got big balls.
Oh, bless his heart.
And then I was like, Ross, but if you had a softball sized ball, wouldn't you think that your dick is small in proportion? He's like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So, yeah, that's...
that is sick.
That's that shit. But
that's fucking sick.
But yeah, so, I mean, because we got to wrap this up. I'm sorry, man. I was going to interview, so you did it for 10 years. You got it. What were your top 3 when you started?
I think, for sure, my homegirl, she's, man, amazing writer, amazing comedic genius. And I think, as a kid watching entertainment and watching it, it changed because
who was it? What's her name?
Sheeds. Rashida. Yeah, she's just from Chicago. She wrote on South Side. She's actually gonna be.
Where did you watch her?
So Sheeds was at the college with me. So what happened was when I was a freshman, she was like a senior out the door. So as I'm coming up and getting on stage and opening for comedians when they come or hosting stuff, people was like, yo, you gotta do what she doing. And she went the Second City route where she was there with fucking Chris Red and amazing fucking talents, because so many people from SNL came from Second City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shit, she took me around and it was just yo, and she got me around Cicely Strong and all these amazing people. I'm just watching and learning, but the things that I grew up in the 90s watching is different than that, right? Because at that point in my life, I'm a young adult in my 20s, so growing up, I'm watching the Wayans, I'm watching In Living Color, I'm watching Chris Rock, I'm watching all of those amazing things, and then that's a snapshot compared to I get a little bit older and I'm in middle school, so now I'm watching Dave Chappelle, now I'm watching more Martin, now I'm watching more of certain
Patrice.
things. Dog, but even I admit I didn't understand how good Patrice was until I was a comedian. Mm-hmm. It took me becoming a comedian to realize yo, the stuff he's saying and how he's talking about it is crazy.
Yeah.
But
he also had amazing self-awareness with his mannerisms.
Patrice,
nobody could deliver his shit with his his facial expressions and shit.
The joke he got when he talk about, you want a sandwich? Why you got the lights off? Let me just sit right here next to you.
Wait, oh yeah, it's the same one. It's oh, are you gonna go out with me still with a fish?
That motherfucker, he's a riot joke. He got one of the best jokes because, you said, his timing when he says yo, you're talking to me and I don't want you to talk to me. You're raping me of my time. like the way he broke the joke down, like it's like, yo, this man is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But I was
Man,
always
I found this girl behind a dumpster. She cute. She got lettuce on her head.
funny as hell. But like people like him or Bill Burr or, you know, like, and that's why I said like it gets so different, bro, because as a comedian, you realize like comedic actors and producers are very much so comedians. They might not be a stand-up, but people like a Will Ferrell, people like a Seth Rogen, people like, you know, Adam Sandler, phenomenal comedians.
Did you see Peyton's open up for Craig Robinson? No?
Craig, shout out Craig from the city. I didn't see that Peyton was doing that, but Craig, I know Craig from the city, so shout out to that. But you know, another amazing, like he's a musical genius for real. Yeah. You know, but did so many years in it. It's like, man, Joe, that brother deserves his flowers. Craig Robinson deserves his flowers time and time again. But yeah, Joe, influence wise, that's different than like, say for example, my Chicago influences, right? Because I didn't even know that I was so influenced by Chicago comedians until I was jumping into the scene. And I'm like, damn, Bernie Mac, damn, Robin Harris, you know, damn, D. Ray Davis, you know, damn, Lil Rel, you know. And I knew Lil Rel because I was watching him in college, and I'm like, yo, he's on fire. I want to do this shit for real. Yeah. But the influences change, right? Because then, you know, I started to look at people who do great business, and I'm like, yo, I like comedians that do great business, whether it be them doing voiceover stuff, them doing commercials, them doing, you know, they create a show, they write a show, they produce, they direct. I'm like, fuck. And that's why I said, like, my influences changed, because at one point, I liked it if you can get in that motherfucker and just set the stage on fire. But then I realized, like, you can set the stage on fire. That don't mean you're a good comedic actor. Yeah. And that don't mean that you can direct a scene. Hell, that don't mean that you can write a scene. Some comedians are amazing. That don't mean they write. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some people, and then it's even having an appreciation for lowbrow comedy versus highbrow comedy. I appreciate a good fart joke, but then I just saw John Gasper in the city, brother, doing that joke about Boeing. One of the best jokes I've seen recently, because it's just so good. Because Boeing is out here killing shit, and if you're not a good writer, you don't know how to write a joke about how funny it is that this airplane company that keeps people safe is killing people as well. So it's just like, fuck. It's just like certain stuff. It just inspires me more and more. You know what I mean? So I think like every few years I'm inspired. Like recently, I've been real inspired by Shane Gillis. Oh, Shane is good, dude. Yeah. Shane is so damn funny, man.
Shane is great,
and I love the idea. Like, yo, I write amazing sketches. SNL pick me up. They hate the fact that I'm actually offensive. Cool, fuck it. I go the other way, make even more money.
Did you see his show on Netflix?
I have to catch up on it. So I was watching all the pilots and the sketches. Yeah. Which is why like people wanted, like, I don't know if you keep up with his sketches. He had this one sketch that was hilarious. It's called OnlyFans Dad. And it's fucking hilarious. If you get a chance, check out Shane Gillis, OnlyFans Dad. It's so funny. It presses all of the fucking limitations on stuff.
Dude, I've been wanting to do this one sketch that I can't get comedian schedules together. I got to tell you afterwards. But
rock with me, man. Let's get it done, because if you see, so he made OnlyFans Dad, but he made a few others, and then the premise for Tires was one of them.
And
then that spiraled off.
I remember seeing that shit like on YouTube 3 years ago or something. Yeah.
And see, like, even another comedian from Chicago, that brother, they were just telling me that his work started out. Dwayne Perkins, the movie, The Black in it, the horror film with the black people in it, started off as a set that he wrote, or a sketch that he wrote at a competition, and then just continued. People saw it, was like, hey, let's do more with it. Hey, have you ever thought about making a movie with it? All from something so small, right? Yeah, and you look at Shane Gillis' situation when he made that sketch, and fucking hilarious, super short. They're just sitting there in like a garage, and they're making this joke, and it grows into a show that's so good and so dynamic that it's greenlit for a season 2 before season 1 even released. Yeah. So it's like, man, fuck yeah, let's make these sketches.
Bro, that's what looks like what happens. It's almost like you want to get canceled because of where you did you hear what happened to Louis C.K. where like they said like he's banned from releasing any new shit on Netflix. They didn't want him to have it on there. He's like, all right, well, I'm gonna fucking sell it on my website. So instead of paying your shitty company $10 a month, they're gonna rent it for $10 a rent, and I'm gonna make how many days in a month? 30 times the amount of money. because I have a dedicated fan base. You
And
know?
it comes straight to me. I don't have to split it with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking. But yeah, man, you got I wouldn't even ask for any plugs because I don't know when I'm gonna release it. But
No, man. Check me out at Lincoln Lodge. Ask a Comedian. June 24th. It could be if this is after June 24th. Lock in with us. We every third Friday of the month. Check out Beyond Bars podcast. Super duper love that. On all
can I
platforms.
be on your podcast?
Well, you know what? You might be able to because you was put in a mental health facility for some months. We do want to do an episode where we focus on mental health.
Yeah.
So let's roll that around with our producers to see if we can get you in the city and do something like that.
Yeah.
Is that something you would be okay talking about?
Yeah, I can talk about anything.
Okay, we can talk about the grippy socks that you had in there, man.
Yeah.
But
They're comfy, man.
yeah, you got to get comfy, brother. And also just I'm just doing different stuff around the city. So follow me on all platforms. Kyrie Da Comic, KYRIEDACOMIC. Follow me. I follow back. If you doing cool stuff, are you sexy?
All right, sounds good. Thank you for getting wild.
Appreciate you for having me on here to get wild. Getting wild for a while with Phil. That's a soundbite if you ever need it, dog.